Welcome to the ultimate WordPress website tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through an in-depth guide to creating a professional, clean and modern WordPress website. This website can be applied for any type of business you have, whether it's a small business, a local business, a creative business, any type of business. I've created this tutorial to be a truly step-by-step tutorial with no steps skipped, and as you can probably tell from the length of this video, this isn't going to be your typical here's how to build a website in 10 minutes or here's how to use AI to build a website in 2 minutes. If anyone tells you that you can create a website in 10 minutes, they are absolutely kidding you. That's the honest truth. You cannot, no matter, even if you're using an AI to completely create your website, that website is always going to need editing. It's always going to need refinement. It's always going to need all the extra things that need to be done. Now, quick little introduction of myself. I have nearly 10 years of experience in web design, copywriting, and marketing. So I have a unique background in actually being able to show you how to not only create a powerful looking website, but also go through and actually create a website that doesn't just look good, but actually performs. I'm going to be taking my 10 years of experience and showing you how you can easily go through and create the copy for yourself for your website. I'm going to show you how you can take the entire structure that I've already put together for you and show you how you can recreate it using ChatGPT to do it in record time. And you know, not only that, I'm also going to be going into SEO, walking you through how to do search engine optimization, so your website can start to be found and show up in search, and so much more. I truly wanted to make this the ultimate tutorial for building your own website, because I'm just absolutely sick and tired of the hypey, low value content out there, and that's why I started this channel, and that's why I wanted to create my very first video to be a full in-depth tutorial, and that's what you're going to get in this video. So if you're someone who wants to do things properly, who wants to do things, you know, cleanly, professionally, modern, and, you know, wants everything in one video, so you're not searching endless videos and someone telling you one thing, someone telling you another, you know, and you're left in the dark, you've clicked onto the right video, because this video is made for you. I made it to be as valuable as humanly possible, and that's what this video is. Because not only is it a super in-depth video, I also have down below a completely free launch pack that has entire templates already built out with all the copy and structure ready to go, a document for troubleshooting, a document on ChatGPT prompting, and so much more. So I'd highly recommend, before you start this tutorial, that you go into the description below and download that. Alright guys, thanks for clicking onto the video, and let's get going. Let's go.
So, first things first is signing ourselves up for a hosting provider. Now, you're going to find down in the description below the link to Cloudways, link to come to this page here to get yourself started. And yes, of course, in full transparency, it is an affiliate link. And you know, that's just my way of getting some kind of kickback for putting this video together for you and putting this content out completely for free. But I genuinely, you know, I want to also, before you go through and come to this website, click the link down below, I want to walk you through why I would even recommend Cloudways. Now, as you would have heard by now, I've got nearly 10 years of experience in web design, creating websites for others, creating websites for myself, for clients. So I have tried a lot of different hosting providers over the years, and trust me, I have tried them. And, you know, things like HostGator and Hostinger and SiteGround and many others over the years. And while they're all pretty good hosting providers, what I found with them was that they were either had bad downtime, websites loaded poorly, you know, they were just clunky, super outdated, super confusing, just so confusing. They didn't, when they didn't need to be. But number one of all, the biggest problem I had with all those three that I listed, plus others, was their support system. And when you're a beginner and you're just starting out, the most important, in my opinion, you know, I can't speak for you guys, but in my opinion, the biggest thing is support. You want to know that someone is there to, you know, obviously got my video here, walking you through everything possible that I can every step of the way, but you might encounter some things along the way, or questions you want answered, or, you know, a little problem comes up and I can't always just step in and help you, but I can, you know, obviously help them through this video, but you want to know that someone is there to handhold you and help you through if you've got issues. And that is where support comes in. And the amazing thing, and that's the most powerful thing in my opinion, other than everything else about Cloudways, which you'll see in a moment, is its support. So if I come down here, they really, you know, hone in on how good their support is. As I say here, you got a 90-second response time, you know, 24/7 support. And honestly, I have never had issues with them not getting back to me. And it's pretty much, well, it is. It's always a human you're speaking with. Maybe it'll be an AI at first, but then it is eventually always a human you speak with. And they're always so friendly and helpful and kind. And I've never seen an honestly that good of service ever from any other hosting provider. And they are notorious, hosting providers, with having very bad customer support. I'm not going to call out the exact ones that have got very bad, but that is not an issue with Cloudways. They are absolutely amazing. And that's why I've partnered with them. I use them for all my own clients, all the websites that I build for clients. I use them for my own websites, and I recommend them to heaps of people. And now here I am making sure that I recommend them for you guys building your first website. So I can go into all the more, you know, deeper things that, you know, but for you guys, you probably don't care or need to know that. All you need to know is that Cloudways works all the time, every time. It's super fast, super powerful. And, you know, I've never had any issues with downtime or anything like that. And they have amazing support. So that's my little spiel of Cloudways, why I recommend it. If you subscribe to this channel, you're going to see me probably do more videos going into Cloudways and why I recommend it above all the others. But for the sake of this video, that is just a breakdown of why I recommend Cloudways. So again, remembering, if you haven't already, the link is down in the description. It's going to bring you to this sign up page here. I highly recommend, you know, you're just following exactly as I'm doing, so you don't get lost along the way. You're not clicking the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing. And of course, it's also helping to support, you know, this channel to keep creating free content. So whatever you've chosen to do, it's perfectly fine. I'm not forcing you to do anything, but yeah, if you are ready to rock and roll, you click that link below if that feels right for you. And let's now get into getting started with building out our website. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go through and sign up ourselves. So I'm just going to show you the plans that are available and why I choose to pick certain ones. So don't need to worry that, you know, you're going to go through and, you know, not get that initial 3 days free. You click through here and, you know, you're still going to get the start free. Okay, so I'm just doing this to show you guys the different pricings. Now, yeah, there's all these different options you can pick here, from DigitalOcean, Vulture, really all this sort of thing to you guys doesn't really matter. You're going to see it gets a bit more expensive with these. I just recommend for, you know, you guys just started out, just getting started, to just go with DigitalOcean or Vulture. From my perspective, I'm in Australia here, so I usually go with DigitalOcean or maybe Vulture, because where servers are located, you're going to see in a moment what I mean by that. But let's just go through and let's just pick for ourselves start for free. So we're just going to go down to the $14 micro and then just hit start free. And then you're just going to put in your details, sign up here. Okay, so once you've done that, if you've gone through the way I did, which is sign up through Google for my account in there, you're going to be brought to this or this section here. So we're just going to be putting in a password. So just going to make one up. Obviously, make sure you do a good password that people aren't going to be able to get into. And then how would I best describe myself? So for you guys, let's just go for other businesses. And then monthly hosting spending is most likely you have not done any spending on hosting right now. So you're just going to select the lowest one. Honestly, don't need to worry about these really that much. They're just, you guys are probably used to them when you sign up for things, they ask you questions. That's all they are. So we're just going to go here and hit agree, and then we're going to hit sign up. Okay, so now we're going to be brought to here, just verifying a phone number. So you're just going to obviously select the country that you're in, and then put in your phone number. So I'm obviously not going to show exactly my phone number, so this will be hidden away, but obviously you just go through and select yours. So obviously I'm in Australia, so I'd pick that, and then I'd type my phone number in here. Okay, guys, so you're going to be brought to two options here. And now this is why it's good to watch tutorials and have someone guiding you along, because I'm going to do something very counterintuitive here that you're going to think is a bit strange, and why would I ever suggest it? But I'm going to be saying that you go full access right away. Now, the reason for this is you might be thinking, but Isaac, wouldn't I want a 3-day free trial? Wouldn't I want that? And yeah, honestly, it sounds like a good idea to do something like that. But this is the honest truth. If you pick the 3-day free trial, and you're perfectly fine to, if you want to go in there and play around and have a go with it and everything like that. However, the only downside of picking the 3-day free trial is you sign up without putting your credit card details in, putting anything in. And what that means is that as soon as those 3 days are up, you know, if you don't sign up for an actual paid plan within those 3 days, your server actually gets removed and paused, taken down, and you actually have to go through and speak to support and ask them to put it back up for you again. So you could go through, you could watch this whole tutorial, build out your whole website, and then have it end up being, you know, paused and taken down. And again, you can go through support, speak to them and get it put back up. But that's just a headache of, you know, you might forget to sign up, you might forget to do this, or you forget that I told you that this would happen, and then you're stressed about, oh no, it's removed, what do I do? And then you're just confused. So I recommend you just go to full access, because then you sign up, you've paid right away, and it is a pay-as-you-go model, which means you can cancel any time, and it's based off how much usage there is in terms of, like, it won't go over the amount, and it's pay-as-you-go model, so it means that you can, you know, flexible, cancel any time, and, you know, you sign up for really any other software, like any other hosting provider, and they're going to have you paying right up front anyway. And a lot of the time they don't even offer month to month. They make you pay, you know, hundreds of dollars up front. But these guys, you can just do month to month, and, you know, it just makes so much more sense to just go through the full access. It's going to save you a heap of headache. It's going to save you, you know, the headache of doing it. And it's also, from my perspective, look at it like this. You are committing to yourself, showing you are ready to go. You're not just looking around and saying, oh, maybe. You're going to put in the work, and you're ready to create whatever this business is, create this website. So I highly recommend that you go through and you click full access, and that's what this tutorial is going to walk you through how to do that way. That's what I'd highly recommend. Again, up to you if you want to pick this one, but the easier path is just to select this one for peace of mind and ease of walkthrough, because that's what we're going to be doing in this tutorial. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to go to this one here, and we're going to go to get full access. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to hit get full access here. Okay, so now we're going to do, and again, this is another reason why I highly recommend that you do this now, and you've clicked it, that's why you're here, but you're going to understand how to set all this up properly. You know, don't going to be left to figure it out on your own. You're going to see how to set up all this here. So the first thing obviously I want to do is just put in wherever you live. This is obviously, I'm not going to let you see all my details here, but I'm going to put mine in now, and then we're going to hit proceed to payment. Okay, so once you've put all those in, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go through and set up our own server. Now, I know some of you are thinking, sitting there, especially if you're absolute beginners, you're thinking, set up my own server. What? I don't know how to do that. I don't even know how to build a website. I don't know, build my own server. It's okay. It's nothing crazy technical. I'm here to walk you through it. Essentially, it's just, you know, we're setting up your hosting. Just think of it like that. We're setting up the, you know, the hosting for ourselves. So we're just going to hit launch now. And what we need to do is launch an application. So we're going to pick WordPress here. And then we're going to go through and type in our application name. Now, it doesn't really matter what you're going to call it. Just give it your business name. I'm just going to call it Isaac design tutorial. And then I'm just going to do that the same for the server name. And then, the project, I'm just going to put it. There's already one there because, I've already used this account for a few things, but you're just going to type in anything there. This could be your project, could be my website, whatever it is. Don't get too technical or worrying about all this. It doesn't really matter all that much. You're not going to ever need these names for anything in particular. That's just pretty much what it's going to be called in here. But again, don't get too confused with everything. This is like one of the more confusing portions, but once you understand it, it's very simple. And as you can see, Cloudways makes it super easy to go through and easily just go and install WordPress. Whereas on other platforms that I've used in the past, it makes it a lot more complex than it needs to be, confusing and everything like that. And luckily also you've got me stepping you through every step of the way. So next thing we want to do is once you've typed all that in, you're going to notice that this comes up down here. Now, I know you're going to be sitting there thinking, what, $72? I'm not paying that. And that's perfectly fair. But you're not going to be paying that because that's just on an auto default one that's put it at $72 a month. We're not going to need that. So it's saying here it's on the CPU optimized, high compute, dedicated CPU, high traffic websites. You guys are just getting started. You're not going to have a high traffic website. It would be impossible if it's your first website or you're just getting started with your business. So all you need to do is to simply go to basic. Now you're also going to see that you've got all these different ones to choose from here. So you've got DigitalOcean, you've got Vultr, you've got Iona, Linode, you've got AWS, and you got Google Cloud. Now the cheapest and most cost effective is DigitalOcean, and that's all you're going to need for you guys. Now, you can also see that it's still at around $45, $46 a month. Now, that is because it's already set on 4 gigabyte. Now, for most people, you guys are not going to need 4 gig for starting out. Maybe if you're starting an e-commerce store or something large like that, it might make sense to start on 4 gig. But even then, you're going to be fine with 2 gig in most cases. That's what I recommend. You could also go 1 gigabyte, but as you can see, it comes up in red here, just saying that they recommend at least 2 gigabyte. And you'll find that most hosting providers start around 2 gig. And this is just going to ensure that everything is a good speed, good process, and everything like that. And yes, you're going to see $24 a month, but that is honestly unbelievably cheap, because here's something that I'll tell you that, maybe not many other tutorials would ever say or others would recommend. So if you're thinking, well, the truth is Squarespace actually costs pretty close to that per month anyway. So if you were just create a Squarespace website or a Wix website, it's going to be around $24 a month to run that website. Now, the thing with those platforms is not only are they a lot more basic in, their ability to edit websites and everything, so they're very limited, but you're locked in to that $24 or $20, whatever it is for those guys a month. You can only create one website on that price, one website. Whereas on a 2 gigabyte plan, which is plenty, and the services they run are very high end, I honestly have, just on a $24 a month plan for 2 gigabyte, just being open here with you guys, I have over 13 websites built out and running for clients and my own websites and everything like that, all just under a 2 gigabyte plan for $24 a month. So theoretically, you could just pay this $24 a month and you could have multiple websites all running. If you've got more than one idea, more than one business that you're looking to start, obviously most of you are just going to be starting with one, but I'm just showing you this truly is far more cost effective than any other hosting provider that I've ever found. And again, you already know, I've said it's very good with support, it's very good with everything else. So that $24 is honestly, that's nothing. That you spend that on a few items at the grocery store these days. So $24 a month to be able to have multiple websites running, high end, always working, no issues. To me, it just makes sense. So I'm highly recommending 2 gig. You could maybe go 1 gig, but you'd be risking maybe it won't run too well. So highly recommend 2 gig. So all we're going to do then now is just hit our location. Now, this, you can get a little bit technical with this. Pretty much the best way I like to explain it is you want to pick the data center that is closest to your location. So where you're going to have your most clients from. Now, some of you are thinking, but Isaac, I'm going to be serving global customers, like for people from all around the world. Then that's perfectly fine. You just pick, if you're in USA, like a lot of viewers, you guys will be, you're going to pick New York. So that just makes sense, because even if you're serving the world, you know, you yourself are located in America. So you'd pick New York. If you're somewhere in the UK, you'd pick London. And for myself, if I'm in Australia, I'm going to pick Sydney. Now, if you actually have clients that, clients, customers, whatever, just say you're just creating a website that's only going to be selling to people in Australia. Well, then it definitely makes sense to pick somewhere like Sydney, because that's going to be where all your people, all your customers are going to be going through. So it just helps with speed. Now, not many hosting providers ever allow you to pick this. So this is amazing. You can do this. And it's also, don't overthink it too much. Just pick whatever's going to be the most applicable to you. Essentially, just wherever you live, pick the closest city or a city or show associated with that country. Okay, so what we're going to do is just pick Sydney for me, for Australia. And again, you guys go New York, America, London, if you're in the UK, and so on. So I'm just going to go to Sydney, and then I'm simply just going to hit launch now. Okay, so now you're going to have this here waiting. So this is just a waiting game now of waiting for your server to be created for us. And once that's done and everything's live, we're going to go into actually setting everything up. So all you need to do now is wait the 7 minutes for the server to be created. Go get yourself a coffee, go for a bit of a stretch, a bit of a walk around, whatever you need to do. Use this as a bit of a time and reset. Should give yourself a pat on the back too for getting to this part. This is already some of the more complex things done. And we're going to get into more of the actual website building very shortly. Okay, so once that's done, you're going to be brought to this area here, which is where you're going to see your server ready to rock and roll. It's live, and then we're going to have our applications here. Now, all we need to do now is simply just go to whatever you've got here under applications. You can click that. Now, again, you're going to think this looks very confusing and everything, but trust me, if you're at the back end of any of the other hosting providers, they look, this is just so much cleaner. So don't worry if it looks confusing. I promise you, most of this stuff none of it really needs to apply to you, other than a few things that I'll show you through later on. Remember, I'm here to walk you through step by step. So now we've essentially got our website ready to go on here on our server here. We're going to put our own domain name in soon. Don't worry about that. But the most important thing and the first thing to do is just to go through and design our website. So what you're going to see now is you're going to see the access details. So I'm in here. If you haven't clicked, hasn't gone to here, or you've clicked around, you want to go to access details, and then you're going to see application URL. But what we want to do is go to the admin panel. So this is where we sign into our website. And this is now we move into designing our WordPress website. So all I want you to do is click this one here to open a new tab. And it's going to go to your website with WP admin to log in. And then you're just going to come back here, and it's going to have them both perfectly there for you. So you can copy that and then just put that one in there. And then you're going to have a password, and you can copy that. Now you can edit it if you want, but I recommend only having it being able to access once you log in, and then just save it somewhere, copy it, and then you can put it in here. And then you can even hit remember me so you don't have to log in every time, and then all good to go. Okay, so remember, copy this one, username, put it in there, copy password, put it in there. And then we're just going to simply hit log in. Okay, so once you've done that, you've logged yourself in, you are officially inside of WordPress. So before we go any further, I just want yourself to give yourself a pat on the back for getting yourself to even to this point. A lot of people say they're going to start a website, or they're going to create their own business. They want to create their own website, but they rarely actually follow through on it. You've just gone through and created your own hosting, set up your own, server, installed the application, and install WordPress, and here you are as your first time. So I remember the very first time I created my WordPress website, and that's why I wanted to make sure that I made a bit of a fuss over it. Is it felt amazing that the first time I'm like, whoa, I've done it, and it was just felt such a great feeling to know that I've created my very first WordPress website. And of course, we haven't built out the WordPress actual website design yet and built out the pages and everything, but this is the first step. Now, I know that, so I just want to make sure that you give yourself a pat on the back, because that is an awesome, huge effort. Now, getting into WordPress and using it. Now, you're probably going to come in here and think, you're just looking at all this and you're thinking, what am I even looking at? You're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed. I know 10 years ago when I first logged into WordPress, I was thinking, what even is going on? I was very confused, and I felt like I was out of my depth. But the more I used it, the better I got, to the point now, obviously, it's just second nature, and same thing is going to happen for you. And luckily, you've got me walking you through step by step. I'm going to make sure that nothing's missed, and you truly fully understand WordPress. That's why this tutorial hasn't been a little 12-minute, 15-minute one that just makes things look super easy. Yes, it is easy, but if anything, there's always more to it than 10 or 15 minutes. So we're going to go through now and setting up our WordPress. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview just so you understand WordPress, the basics of it, and these different sections here, and then know that we're not really going to use most of these anyway, but it's good to just have a bit of an understanding. So firstly, this is our dashboard. So this is just our main dashboard area here. You are honestly not going to worry about any of this stuff here. Just don't even bother with it. I don't ever really look at it myself. It's really obsolete, but that's just to understand. So this is the main dashboard here. Now we can go through and we can click posts, and this is where we could add a post in. So this is where we make like blog posts and everything. I'm not going to be going into that because for a lot of businesses these days, blog posting isn't needed. But if that's going to be part of your business model, I can do some future videos on blog posting and everything. But for now, we don't need to worry about it. Next one is just media. This is essentially just a library where all your media will be. Again, not something you'll probably really access. Pages, this is something you will access. So this is where we'd go through and we'll create like our home page, maybe a contact page, an about page, all those, which we're going to be stepping through in this tutorial. Next one, comments. Again, obsolete. Most of the time, when you first start a WordPress website, automatically comments are turned off and you don't want them on anyway. So don't really worry about that one. Appearance. This is where we go through and we pick a base theme. Now, this one, again, is something we're actually not going to use that much because you've seen a moment. We're actually going to use a plugin to build our website, and we're not really going to need to worry too much about this appearance and themes here. You can go through and you can find free WordPress themes, but from my perspective, they're very basic and can't do a lot with them. And, the WordPress is native builder, so it's builder that it used to build websites. WordPress itself is amazing, but its actual native builder isn't all that crash hot, not that good. So that's all we're going to be using, a plugin. So then we've got plugins. So plugins is, just think of them as little apps that improve the functionality of WordPress. So, I could talk a long time about these, but we're just really just going to be going through and installing a few main plugins that are just going to make things a lot easier for us. And then users, this is just where you can add extra users. The majority of you are just going to have your own user yourself. So I'll just quickly show you. You could change in the profile. You could go through and change things like the password, but I would recommend only changing the password through Cloudways anyway, than going through and then doing it in here. So again, that's probably going to be one that's obsolete. Then tools, we're not really going to use that area either, really, other than there'll just be one plugin we're going to install soon, which will be used there, but the rest of these, not really. Then settings, this, we're not really going to change any settings. There'll be a few that I'll show you how to change later on, but really most of this is ready to go now, and we don't really need to change any of the settings here. Okay, so that is essentially an overview of the different sections here on WordPress. Now, again, you're not going to be using a lot of these anyway, so don't get yourself too worried about needing to understand them all. We're just going to go through and each of the main ones. We're just going to now go through the areas that we actually need to focus on. So the first one is going to be installing a plugin. So what I want to do is just hit plugins. Then you're going to see these ones here, and you're just going to hit add plugin. Now, what I want you to do here is just simply type in Elementor. And then you're just going to, this one here. So as I said, the native builder of WordPress is very, very poor. I'm not a fan of it at all, as are a lot of, if not most people. So what I recommend is getting a page builder. Now, as you can see, it's got over 10 million downloads and 7,000 positive reviews. Well, pretty much positive 4.5. And, you know, it is easily the most popular and best WordPress, you know, drag and drop builder. And, you know, it was one of the first to the game many years ago, you know, before Squarespace and Wix and all those started to take off as well. I feel like a lot of them have actually tried to emulate and copy Elementor, but from my opinion, nothing beats Elementor and how amazing it is for drag and drop website building. And it's what I've used for nearly 10 years now for web design clients and my own websites and everything. So we're just going to go through and hit install now. And then we're just going to hit activate. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go through here and go to let's get connected, and you're just going to go start setup. So pretty much what you want to do is, this is optional, but I do recommend it just for, you know, making things easier for you, is to sign yourself up. Okay, so now you're going to come to this area here, and now I recommend you click the Hello Biz, not Hello Theme. Hello Biz just works better for what we're going to be doing for building out. So we're just going to click that one. And then this one, honestly, just hit skip. It's pointless. And then what we want to do next is we just going to go through and hit skip as well. Okay, so now we are in Elementor. Now, we're not going to be building out a site yet, but Elementor just by default brings you to a section, like a first open page that you could start playing around with and testing it out. And so we're not going to go into actually building one out yet, but what I will give you is a brief little overview. Plus, we're just going to fix a few things that I recommend doing at the beginning, so you don't have to get headaches down the road. So it's a very easy fix. You're going to notice that when you first sign up, when you first open this, it's going to be displaying this ugly title here. So basically what that is at the moment, that is our domain title and everything like that, which we're going to change later and everything. So it doesn't matter, but we want to get rid of that. We don't want to be building websites with obviously that up there. So a very easy fix. All you do is just simply go to page post settings. Then you're just going to change it from default to Elementor Canvas. And as easy as that, it's removed. Now, we want to do one final thing, is we also want to go into here, and we want to go to site settings, and we want to change the layout from the default page layout from theme to Elementor Canvas. So what that means is it'll never load the other version again where the title comes up. Just always going to load Elementor Canvas. So we're just going to click that one, hit save changes, and that just makes your life a lot easier. Trust me. Okay. So okay, awesome. So now we've got a clean slate that we could start building out our website. So when I get into the actual templates, I'll go in even more depth, but just so you understand, and you can have a play around if you wanted to. So just a brief overview. If we go through here, we've essentially got this section here, which is elements. So what this means is these are all the different things we can add, like a title, an image, video, text, button, divider, lots of different things. So if we go down through here, you're going to see a lot of them are locked, but you're going to see, I'm going to show you in a moment how we can get a lot of these, you know, without needing the pro paid version. We can get most of these unlocked by using other plugins that have been built out to amplify Elementor itself. So I'm not going to get too technical though, But just to give you a basic overview, so if I just went here and just dragged in that, and now we've got a new title here. So you could just click this button here and we could center it like that. We could change the color, make it black, and then we could press content, style, and we go to typography, and we could make it bigger. We could change the text, make it maybe robotic dense, and you could you just click over here and then type in your title. Obviously, you're gonna type something different to that. Now we can do a lot more, so we're gonna go into it more when we actually build it out. But I'm just giving you a basic overview. So you could drop a spacer in here, and you could put that there. Another one here, duplicate, and put that one. So you get the picture. Very easy to use. We can drag and drop things in. We can put an image in there. We can play around. But as you can see, it's very easy to use. But if you were just going to be starting from, absolute scratch, you're going to find that it's very, still going to be quick for you. Still much quicker than definitely from coding back in the day. But it's going to take time. And if you guys don't have an understanding, which most of you aren't going to send, design and copy and layout and structure, it's going to take some time to figure it all out, which is why we're now going to move into getting ourselves professionally made templates. You're going to be amazed by how much options there are. And that's what we're going to move into next. So you're welcome to, if you want, you can pause this video, have a bit of a play around if you want to. But if not, let's get moving and let's get into really getting into designing our website. Okay, so what you're going to want to do now is go through and click here. So click up here and then just go to exit to WordPress. Don't worry that you're going to lose all this because you wouldn't have made anything anyway. So just say changes made to save, happy to leave. And then you're just going to click this one, view, to go back to actual WordPress dashboard. Okay, so next thing we're going to do now is install another plugin that's going to allow us to start bringing in really professional templates, and you're going to see in a moment what I mean. So we're just going to go to add plugins. Then what I want you to do is to type in Envato elements. And then you're going to go to this one here called template kit import. Now, of course, it's a different term to what we searched, but that's what it used to be called. And I just prefer for people to, just for ease to type that in because it still shows up under that term. So then we're just going to go through here and just install now. And then you're going to go activate. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have it come up in tools now. So we've got a tools, template kit. Okay, and now this is where we're going to go through and we're going to be able to upload premium professional templates. As you're going to see that are just going to amplify things so much for us. So we don't need to use this tool right now because the next thing we're going to do is go through to Envato elements. Now, I've got a link down below to Envato elements in the description, as well as it came with the starter pack, the free starter pack. I've linked it in there as well. So you're welcome to click that below to bring you to the page that I'm going to be at soon, or you can also just Google search Envato elements, whatever you prefer. Go through and do that. Okay, so once you've arrived at Envato elements, you're going to be brought to this home page here. Now, why would I suggest that you sign up for Envato elements? Well, obviously, number one is, as you're going to see in a moment, I'm going to show you that it's got a absolutely, literally incredible array of, literally hundreds of thousands of pre-made website templates, which I'm going to show you in a moment, that are just absolutely amazing. And you get it all under the one subscription. And that alone is worth the price. And the thing is, you can cancel at any time you want, and you're still going to get all these, any website templates that you downloaded, you get to keep them for lifetime commercial use. Okay, so don't think you have to tie yourself into staying with these guys forever. but it is already, just even that aside, is already saving you so much money, because if you go on to individual marketplaces to buy a WordPress design, it's going to cost you $50, $100, $150 plus just for one design. Here you get a monthly fee, which you'll see in a moment, and you get access to thousands of WordPress website designs. But that's just one thing you're getting. So back in the day, literally like 10 years ago when I first saw it, that was, it had a few different things, and it had, some good WordPress website templates, and it had a few things here and there. But now Envato Elements is it's just insane what you get for the price. So you're also getting, I'm just going to give you a brief overview. So with the one price, you also get video generation, so AI video generation, you get image generation, you get image editing, you get voice generation, sound generation, mock-up generation, graphics generation, music generation. Then you also get millions of stock video, you get video templates, you get stock photos, you get royalty-free music, you get graphics, you get fonts, you get graphic templates, you get sound effects, 3D add-ons, presentation, everything. Just absolutely phenomenal how much you get under just one subscription. It's almost like ludicrous these days what you get. And there's, in my opinion, like on this channel, I'm going to do deeper ones of using Envato Elements and all the different things you can do. But if you're starting your business right now, you're likely, if you're starting a business right now, you're going to be, you're running an online business, whatever it is, small business, whatever, you're going to need to be doing social media. You're going to be needing to create content. You're going to need all these things. So having one thing where you can create all those under the same thing and have like music, stock video, everything, it's just crazy. It's like a little mini business in one price. And I've never seen anywhere else do all that. So that's why I'm recommending it to you guys. And if you followed through and you use my link, obviously it's affiliate link, so I'm going to get some kind of kickback, but I truly would not recommend this if I didn't believe in it. That's 100% authentic. And so if you choose to go through my affiliate link in the description below, even if you already write this research, you can more than welcome just still bring it up again by using my link down below. That's just going to help support the channel, but it's also going to be, just investing in you by signing yourself up. So it doesn't matter what you choose, I'm not forcing you to, but just go through whatever feels right. And then you're going to go through here and hit get unlimited downloads. So before we go into signing ourselves up, I just want to quickly show you what I mean by how amazing it is for WordPress websites. So if we just go through to here to web, and then we go to template kits, you're going to look through here, and what you're going to find is essentially what these template kits are pre-made, already ready to go for Elementor, that are, super well professionally designed and ready to go for like nearly endless businesses. So these are just some examples that come up under template kits, but you can search here for any business type, like electrician, plumber, whatever, coach, whatever, and you're just going to find hundreds of pre-made templates that, again, these are real templates that exist on other marketplaces, in other places where it costs $50 to $100 per one, and you get them here for the one subscription per month plus everything else. So it's absolutely crazy, and that's why I recommend it for you guys. But even going down here, let me just show you. So, but let's just pick one quickly now. So let's just say a law firm one here. So let's just have a look at this. So we're just going to go through here and then go down to live preview. And as you can see, look at this. Look at how high quality that is. Already ready to go. All you would need to do, and I'm going to be showing you how to, is edit out the different text, edit things around, and you could easily make an absolutely amazing looking website. So already, it's just say you're a legal company business, you're going to look light years ahead of so many other law firms with this right out the gate. So just giving an example. So I'm going to let you can go through and you could have a search around if you wanted to, and you could find all the different things and search through. But what we want to do now is actually sign ourselves up. So we're going to go through and we're going to hit get unlimited downloads. And now you're going to see is you're going to have different options. So what I recommend is just going through here and just hit start now, and then you can pick a one that you want to go with. So you're just going to sign up for an account, and then all you want to do is just go through, and it's up to you. You could pay annually, you know, for the year, or you could just pay monthly and just go through and pay, and you could cancel any time if you wanted to. But like you saw now, it's well and truly worth the price, and is just so much that you could use for it, and it's still a very small fee. But again, you can cancel at any time once you've got your website together, you've got your design you're happy with. If you didn't feel like you needed all the other things, you could easily cancel it. So it's a no-brainer really for doing it. And so all you need to do is just literally hit monthly, and then just fill out all your details here and then hit complete order. Now, I obviously already have an account, so I don't need to sign up. But once you do that, sign yourself up, and then we'll go through to the next part. Okay, so once you've signed up, you're going to be brought through to this area here. So what you want to do now is go through and press this button here, and then you're going to go to web, and then you're going to go to template kits. Now what we want to do now is go through and install our template. So I've gone through and I've had a look through all these, and I've found a template which I feel is the best and easily editable, best one for beginner friendly, and can be used universally depending on what your business is. Now, if you want to later on after this video, you're more than welcome to go through and once you've got this skill in place, to go through and use any of the templates here and build out your own. But I'd highly recommend that you follow along exactly as I'm doing here, because I thought about this for you guys and I found a template that works well universally. And then I've even gone through in the starter pack for free, I've edited it and made it completely copy written and structurally ready for any business that you want to use it for. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through, and you guys are going to type in financial consulting Elementor, and this is going to bring us to the base theme that we're going to use. So we're going to scroll down, and you're going to see this one called Trust Fin. Okay, so you're going to come to this area here, and all we want to do now is just simply go through to download it. And then you're going to license it to, so you're going to make up a project here, and then you're just going to go through and click one here. So just license it to whatever. I'm going to put it under Isaac Design because that's what I am building it out for. You don't need to worry about it too much, but as long as you call it, give it whatever your business name is. Okay, so we do that. And then we're going to go through here, and we're just simply going to hit save. Okay, so we've got that downloaded. Now, what we want to do now is go back to our templates kit. If you didn't remember, if you've accidentally exited out of it, just simply go to Tools and then scroll down to Template Kit and open this. Okay, now all we want to do now is just simply hit Uploaded Template, and you're going to find the one you downloaded. Make sure it's the zip folder. Just hit Open, and we're just going to wait for that to do its magic. Awesome. Now, before you do anything else, I want you to make sure you hit Install Requirements. Okay, so then you're just going to go through and hit Install Above Selected Requirements. And then you just want to hit Close. All right, so now what we want to do is just hit, for this global kits here, we just want to hit Import Template. Okay, so now what that's going to do is actually going to go through and just bring in all the foundational things we need to start building out our website. So it's just essentially, as it says here, the global theme, styles, color, themes, everything like that, just so that this works properly. You don't want to go through and start building it out without clicking that first. And especially when we get into the portion of using the design variation that I already made out for you guys, you're going to want to make sure all this global kit styles is set up, ready to go. Okay, so there's all that done. Now, what we're going to do is move into creating our very first page. So what I want you to do now is simply go through to Pages and then just hit Add Page. And what we're going to do is we're going to call this one Home. And then we're just going to go Edit with Elementor. So we're going to reward to here. Now, I've noticed for some reason this has actually come up again. So if this has come up for you, I'm just going to have a quick little look, go to Site Settings. and then make sure layout. Okay, so it looks like it's still on theme, means it didn't save for some reason. So I'm just going to hit save changes. If that hadn't to you, it's still displaying, just go through and do that, and then back to editor. And then we're going to change this page settings to hide title, and then we're also going to do our Elementor canvas. Okay, so you're not going to need to do that every time, but we're just doing it for this one. Okay, so now what we're going to do. So you've noticed we've got a few more things here than were there before. Now you're going to notice this green one is here. So what this one essentially allows us now to do is access this template kit that we just downloaded. So this is where you'll see the full installed template kits. So you see this one here. So the trust theme, we're going to open that one up. Now, just for safety measures, peace of mind, I always click this one again. So just click that one, and then, to install the template global kit styles. And then what we want to do is go through and actually install our homepage. So I'm going to hit this one here, install homepage template. So you're going to see all these other ones. You got an about, you got services, you got team, you got insights, you got pricing, you got testimonials, lots of other pages. But all we need to do right now is just simply go through and put in this homepage. Okay, so I'm going to give you a very brief overview of editing this now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highly recommend that if you haven't already, you go through and you download the free launch pack that I've put together for you guys. And, it's in it. I've actually gone through and I've used this design to then go through and create a full homepage ready to go that can be universally applicable to, any business that you guys want to start. It's all like the copy's on point, ready to go, and the structure and everything, which we'll get more into when we get to that. But firstly, I just want to go through and show you, if you choose, you don't want to download the free pack, and you want to go through and learn you want to go through and edit it all out yourself, then this is what I'm just going to basically show you quickly now. So as you can see, it's going to be very easy to edit. So everywhere I hover, I can go through and click, and then I can edit it around. So just say you want to change this headline, which you obviously would. You just click there, and then you go here, and we can type in our title. So you just type your title here, and you put that in, and then you would click here, and then you'd be able to type in, change that there. So then you've got your different buttons here, and you've got this here. So this actually I don't like, so I'd actually click on that. So you click the little pencil icon, click right click and hit delete, and then you've got that there. So you can go through and you can click this and you can edit that around. So if you go style, change the image, and you can upload your own, and just say you're going to pick an image like that, and we put that in, and there's so much you're going to do. You change the positioning of this this image. So we could change it to top, what do you got, center, just to make sure it's, a bit centered, a bit better like that. So we're going to center. That's probably going to be the best for that image. And you can play it around with that. You can remove sections. You can edit them around. You can, exit out of that. Maybe didn't like that, and you just wanted to have this. Maybe didn't like that image there. You can delete that, and you can play around with this. I wouldn't probably have that either. And then, you can edit this to whatever title you want, So again, you could play around with this. You could edit it. And as you can see, it's just really just drag and drop. We press plus, we can add in a new section like this and go through, and you get the picture. However, what I'm recommending that you do now is, as you can see, this is already amazing. I wanted to get you to this point so you can understand how templates work from Envato Elements and how amazing they are, and everything like that. And then you can go through and edit them and everything. However, that still can take a bit of time too. Not a lot of time. Not it's already saves you a lot of hours building it all out yourself. But the thing is, it's still going to take time to structure it out well, get the copy, get the design, and edit it around, which is why I went to the point of actually creating a dedicated design for you guys that you can install. Now, you do need to first have installed all this for it to work, because it's a variation of this one. So don't think that because it's free that you can just use it, already before downloading this theme. You need to have installed this, and then you can use this one that I put together for you guys. But the rest of this tutorial is going to be based off using the one that I put together for you. You're welcome to still watch along and see how things are edited and get ideas if that's what you'd still prefer. But I would highly, highly recommend that you go through now, download the pack, and then install this theme that I've put together for you guys, this template. So I'm going to assume that that's what you've done, and that's what we're going to move into next. Okay, so what we're going to do now is you've downloaded the pack, and we're going to go through and first remove this design that we've put together. So we're just going to go X on all these here, and we're going to go through and install our own template. So don't get confused. Why would I install that and then remove it? I was just showing you how you install a template, and you can understand how to do that in the future, if you want to add your own templates and then edit it around. But now we're going to go through and actually put in the one that I've put together for you guys, which is a variation, which is ready to go. So we're just going to go through to this one here, and then you're going to hit, once it loads, you're going to go through and hit templates, then you hit the upload button, and then you're going to go through and you're going to hit upload here. Okay, then you're going to be brought to, once you've hit the upload button, then you're going to be brought to here. So all you want to do is just simply hit select template, and then you're going to download from the pack. You're going to have the coach template _ tutorial template.json. You're going to put that one in there, double click on that, and then just hit continue, and then hit enable and import. And then you're going to have it installed. So it's going to say coach template, universal template, tutorial template. So what you want to do once that's loaded, you're just going to hit insert and hit apply. Okay, so that is now imported. Now, I'm going to first show you the basics of editing it. So as you can see, we're going to end up with a really nice looking design. We just have to edit things around now to use this template. But this has saved you so much time, not only just like fiddling around with editing a template, but also, as I've said, it's got the copywriting structure and everything in place. So the beauty of it now is we just need to go through and edit it one by one. I know that some of the YouTube videos out there make it look like you can make a template, make a website in 20 minutes, or you can use AI to generate a website in 5 minutes, or whatever they love to say. The truth is, it's never ever going to be 5 minutes. You might get it together and you might get it uploaded and put together in 30 minutes, in 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, but it's always going to be so much more that you need to do. There's always going to be editing. There's always going to be things that need to be changed around and everything like that. So, anyone that tells you can just make a website in 5 to 10 minutes either doesn't know anything about web design, or is, kidding you, or just, they're just taking it along for a little bit of a ride. So that's why this tutorial is a little bit longer, because I want to actually go proper in depth and show you guys everything that it takes. But we are still speeding up this process way faster. So, what used to take me literally a week or two to create a website, I can now do in a couple of days, or sometimes in a day, a few hours, once I use this method that I'm going to show you. So let's go through, and we're going to go through and edit things around. So as you know, you can just click anywhere and you can change this title, just type in here. We can change the font, but again, we're pretty happy with the font that we have. But you can go through, just say you like that better. Like, that's not too bad. You can change it around, but we're pretty happy with that. We can click here and we can change a book discovery. For instance, it was, I don't know, get a free quote. We can just type that in there and do that. We could change the color of it. We could hit style, and we're going to hit color here, and we can make it blue like that. And look at that, already looking way different. Okay, so as you can see, we can do a lot of editing around. Now we can change this image here. We can make it whatever we wanted. So we just click style, So make sure we hit edit the container, then we go to image. Now we've got some images uploaded here. Let's just pretend we're going to put this bloke sitting here. And there we go. Like, look at that. So maybe this was more of a men's health coaching. So I'm just showing you now. So maybe was men's, spelling men's a bit funny, men's health coaching. So feel better in your body, mind, and life. And yeah, so we've got that ready to rock and roll. So easy as that. So you can just change those images. Obviously, if you want to put your own in, you just click here again. So you go here, and then we go to click the image, and then you go upload. You drag an image in, drag it in, drop it, and then it'll show up in here. And then you just select it like we did, and then hit there, and you got it. Now, recommendations. I'll have a file that will recommend different file sizes. Recommend different dimensions, but as you can see, it's more of a portrait photo here is most recommended to fit the best here. Okay, so you've started to understand a bit of the basics of editing. I'm changing things around. Obviously, you also understand that you can add new sections. So you hit plus, and then you hit here, and then do the down arrow one, and then you can just drag something in. So a header, and then we want to center that like that, and then we can make it bigger. So topography, change it. And then it's on default font, which we had. What font do we have here? Let me remember. It's like something Geologica. So we'll change that to Geologica there. Geologica. Cool. And then we're going to change it to black like this one. And look at that. Already we've got a nice heading there. Now, if we wanted to change to put another thing below it, we can do that. And then I'll just show you. So how did I make this box that's this green color like this? Very simple. So all I do is click this section here of the edit container. So I left click on that, and it's going to bring up all our options here. Now, if we go to style, and then we go to background type, so it's a background behind this, and then maybe we want to make that blue. So let's just say we made it a blue color, like lightish blue, like that. And then you can actually change how, like, the density of it. So you can change that. So let's go to a lighter color like that, because that looks good. And then look at that. We've got that nice and neat. Now you'll notice, how come this one's nice and big? So it's got nice spacing around it. So firstly, it is centered. So we've gone ahead and we hit center, and then we type it in. But also I added a little bit of, in here under advanced, I added a bit of padding. So I usually do, so just say, so unlink values here. And then let's say, essentially I'm going to do 150 on the right and 150 on the left. That's usually around what I'll do. So as you can see, it creates a bit of, squeezes in a bit and ends up, depending on how much you've written, something like this. Obviously you can change the font around, and you can do the same thing with this one. So just advanced. And this is completely optional. You don't need to do this. But this just can sometimes make things look a little bit neater, like that. So it just centers things. So you end up something like that. I'm just showing how to recreate it yourself. Now, but you'll notice there's a bit of space around it, which makes it look a bit neater. So what I'm going to show you there is simply we just go here plus, and then we hit space up, and we just drop that in there. And then we can duplicate it. So right click on it. So right click on it, and then just do duplicate. And then we're going to grab that and put it below it. And there, look at that. We've got a nice, good looking new section, which then if you wanted to move that to a new spot, so we grab that, this time with the left click, we grab onto there and just hold it, and we can just drag it to wherever we want. Now this is why I said we build things in sections. We don't build one section like this and just build everything, drag everything into it in one, because then you can't move sections around, if that makes sense. So every time you want to do like a new section like this, you just make it as a brand new section, plus, flexbox down, and then put everything in there. But I've already built it out, so you shouldn't really need to add too much more, but I'm giving you leeway and understanding so you can start to create completely and make it your own. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that now because we don't really need it, but I was just showing you how to do it. Okay, guys, so now that we've gone through the basics of editing things around, what I want to now show you is how we can go through and edit this and, completely make it your own, and how we can speed this up to, because again, the timeless principles are there, but we want to go through now and, make it so that it's applied for your business. Now, right now, this is for it's become men's health coaching, but it was for a holistic health coach at the moment. But I'm going to show you very easy method that we can completely transform this for any business. So let's just, for example, let's say you were starting a physiotherapy business. Now, that's very different to a coaching business, but it still follows the same, can still use the same timeless principles. So let's go through and I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to be using what I call is the ChatGPT screenshot method. So a lot of people, just don't realize the power of ChatGPT yet. They sleep on how powerful it actually is. And it really is. A lot of the time, I always say to people, ChatGPT just really reflects back to it your own understanding of things and your ability to ask the right questions. Some people say, well, it's not that good. It doesn't really help me that much, but that's because they don't know how to ask it questions or how to combine things and everything like that. But that's what I want to show you guys how to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to actually take screenshots of each of the sections of this website, and we're going to go through to ChatGPT. We're going to upload those images and we're going to ask it to replicate, look at all the copy on the structure on the website and ask it, can it recreate those sections for this mock physiotherapy business? Now, this could be whatever your business is. I'm also going to have in the free download document below, it's going to have, prompts you can use, examples of how to chat to ChatGPT well, and a bit more explanation of this screenshot method if you need it. But for now, let's just go into how we actually go about it. So what I want you to do is press this hide panel button. So that's going to reveal to us and show us what the website looks like, pretty much what it looks like when it's live, okay? So again, we haven't added in our images or anything yet, but we're worrying about the copy right now. So we said we're going to make this for a mock physiotherapy business following this structure here. So what I'm going to do, firstly, I'm going to hit print screen, and then I'm going to copy this entire section here. Okay, so now this is where the magic happens. So we're going to take that screenshot and we're going to just simply hit Control V. We don't need to do anything else. Control V, there's our first image. Now we want to keep going through. So this is our next section. So we're going to do this section here. So I just press print screen again. That's going to be section 2. I'm just going to hit Control V again. And I don't know what you're talking about here. Leave me alone. And then coming down here, we've got our next section. Now you want to make sure that the most important thing is that it can see the full image there. So I'm just actually doing, so if you hold Control and then your little scroller on your mouse pad, you'll be able to zoom it out further. And that's just giving me the ability to screenshot that. So we're going to go through there, put that there. Now also, okay, so there's that section done. Now we're going through the next part. This one's here. We're going to copy that, put that in there. And then testimonials, we can leave that because we don't have, you might not have real testimonials. This is obviously where you'd put in your real testimonials. Then the next one here, our services. So we're going to do that. This is obviously be your services. Go through that section there, put that one in. And then how we'll work together. Let's get this one. Yeah, will that fit? I might zoom out a little bit more. Cool. So screenshot it again. And we're going to put that there. And then we're going here, a little about me. So there's going to be a little bit about this guy. This would be you, or a little bit about the business, whatever you want to have here. Okay. And then there. And then I'm going to do one last section here. And we're going to copy that there. And then we're going to put those. Okay, so that's our website all in there. So ChatGPT has the ability to read images. So it's just going to read those images. It's going to find the text. And then if I give it the right question, the right prompt, it's going to know to recreate the entire thing. Now, I'm showing you this method because it's absolutely amazing and it means you can go through and replicate designs super quickly. This is exactly what I do too. I'll find a template and then I like the structure, but I really don't like the copy. And then I'll go through and screenshot the entire thing. And then I say to it, can you recreate this now for this business here? And then it recreates the copy and then I go and finalize it. There's another option is in the free download below. I've also got just this entire copy ready to go, just to copy and paste. So you could copy and paste the copy of the website that I've got here. And then you could paste it in here. And then you would just say, can you replicate this for my physiotherapy business, That's the other workaround. But I'm showing you this screenshot method because it's absolutely amazing. And, you know, it might help you to think outside the box for future use of ChatGPT. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to say to it, can you please read these screenshots of a template of this template and copy and recreate it for a physiotherapy business, ensuring that you let me know what each section is that has been changed, as well as adjust the about me to be more broad and about the physiotherapy center. Now that's an optional part there because if it was about you, you could leave it. You just have to start thinking outside the box. I'll have some prompts ready for you that you can adjust and that'll be even better than what I'm showing you live here. But this is giving you an idea of how to think and structure things to talk to ChatGPT. So, and then I'm going to end up by saying the physiotherapy center. So this would be your business name is called the physiotherapy center is called Physio Oz. Yeah, I don't know. That's all we're going to call it. Okay. So, yeah, we've got that. Physiotherapy center is called Physio Oz. Awesome. So that's probably good. Can you please rate these screenshots of this template and copy and recreate it for a physiotherapy business, ensuring that you let me know what each section is that has been changed, as well as adjust the about me to be broad and about the physiotherapy center. Physiotherapy center is called Physio Oz. Awesome. Okay, so then all you're going to do is just hit send that through. Okay, so here's what it said. Absolutely. I've read through the screen occur, recreate the structure and a copy of the physiotherapy called Physio Oz while clearly labeling each section, Awesome. So here we go. So that section up there becomes physiotherapy clinic. Okay, cool. So the badge, eyebrow, awesome. So here we go. So physiotherapy, rehabilitation, headline, move better, feel stronger, live without pain. Awesome. Now, remembering, I've also given it already, so it's looking at the copy that's already written there that I've already ensured is good copy, and then it's just recreating, following those principles, and remade it for this business or whatever your business is. So now I've got the sub headline, and then we've got, primary book at an appointment here. And then we've got the philosophy and approach. Cool. Awesome. So that's philosophy and approach section. Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's clearly showing what everything's become, how we support you, feature cards. Cool. Awesome. Look at that. Personalized treatment plans, route. Awesome. It's exactly said what to do for each card for it. This is amazing. So then outcomes and benefits. So, checklist. So that was that one there. And then services breakdown. So what do we put? General physiotherapy, sports. Look at this. It's just absolutely amazing. And then how it works. And then so a breakdown of how it works. And then about us. So a small thing here. So a little about Physio Oz and Physio. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely amazing. And then it's made up some stats for us. And then it's made up even our FAQs that we can use. So absolutely amazing. Now, all we need to do now, like that would honestly have taken me back when I used to copyright before ChatGPT existed and I had to be a copywriter as well as a web designer and I had to write all the copy for people and I used to do things. This would literally take me at least a week to figure all this out and do it well and sometimes longer, especially once I take in making sure that it flows well, the design, the copy. And now we've done this in minutes. So yeah, very lucky to be living in this time and with ChatGPT, especially when you know how to use it. And hopefully I'm showing you ways that you've never seen or thought of using at least before. So, because I'm very big on delivering as much value as I can whenever I make videos, whenever I make content. So let's now go through and all we need to do is literally just go through and copy and paste this through. So I'm not going to, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through every single section, but I'm going to show you a few sections just so you get an idea of how to do it. So let's go. So I said the badge, eyebrow. So all we need to do is here, Control C, and then we go back up to our top and we're going to go change this back to 100%. And we're going to make sure we bring this back on by pressing that. I'm going to change this. So just double click on there, content here. Bam, there's that done already. Then we want to change this. Yep, cool. So we just do that. Bam. Now, this one here is, so if that ever happens, you're better off to just delete that and then paste it fresh like that. And look at that, works fine. Next one, copy. And we're going to put that in there and paste it in there as well. Awesome. So there's that coming. And now what do we have for that? Book an appointment, copy. Here. Let's go back to content, put that there. Then you would obviously just put in whatever your appointment booking link is. You just put that in there. And then we're going to change this. So a simpler, more sustainable thing. So philosophy approach, so they sustainable approach to health. Yeah, cool. So we're going to change that to a clear, practical approach to physiotherapy. Awesome. Next one. Copy that. Put that in there. Look at this, guys. We are blazing through it. So next one. So let's go through this section here. Now this will take a bit of time to show. So I'm not going to show you all of it. I'll just show you like a few. So we're going here. So we're going here and how we help. How we help. Cool. And then let's just show you one example. So we go through and we change this card. Put there like that. This one here. You put that there. Look at this. Amazing. So already we've got that section. Then obviously you just go back here and you do each of the cards that it's put together for us. And you go through and do that. And then we had the dot points here. So let's just quickly change a few of that. We're just the headline and one of them. So this is the benefits section. So we just copy and paste that. And we change this like that. And then we'd go through and change each of these. So I'll just show you one. So you'd copy one at a time. It's not going to take very long, but we go through and we would change that one at a time like that. But still, literally a few seconds for each one. But for save time, I'm not going to show you. Oh, this is just pointless to me to have to show you every single one. So you get that, and then for editing our testimonials, very easy. So all we do is just go to testimonial. We click Sarah M as our first one, and then all we need to do is change this here. So we could just change it to James T, and then we would just change whatever they were. So this could be, we're just going to leave that as a busy example, busy mum and business owner. And then you'll just copy and paste in whatever your review is there, your testimonial. So, yeah, obviously I know that you guys are going to be making up fake testimonials. That is not ever going to work out or be a good idea. So if you don't have testimonials, just leave this section for now. You can simply hit X on it like that, and then you can delete it and not have it for now. No point making fake testimonials. It'll always come back to bite you. I cannot stand people making fake testimonials and things like that. I don't care if you can make AI write it. Don't use AI in those ways. Use AI for, amplifying things, not lying and trickery or anything like that. Okay. So just a little bit of a heads up with that one. Okay, so then we've got the services section here. So I'll just show you again one section. So we've just got services. So physiotherapy services of PhysioOz. Let's change that. Awesome. And that's just show you how to change one. So general physiotherapy, copy that. And we just change that to general physiotherapy. Because it's a bit longer, I might actually center that. That looks way nicer. I like that one. And then copy that. And go back. Click that again. Content. Put it in there. Get the picture. Okay. So again, if you just want to center these, you just go style, center. So they look better when it's longer like that, to be honest. Okay. So that is all that done. And then you're starting to get it. So I'm not going to show you this, but you would just go back and you would go the process, get the title, and then you would put in each of those ones. And then let's just quickly show you the about section. So let's go copy there, and we go to a little bit. So we'll change this obviously to about PhysioOz. Like that. And then a little bit about PhysioOz here. And then this section here. We'll just copy that. So best to press Control A here and then delete and then put it over the top of it. Just works better, I've found. And our stats, let's use that. So if you want to change your stats, you just go to content and then we change the prefix. So we don't want that actually. So we want to change this, they had 1,000 plus, and then just change it to patients. I don't like the term patients, clients. Okay, and then 100%. Yeah, you can change it to what other stat did they have? Trusted local physiotherapy care. New 100% trusted. I'm just giving you an example. Something like that. Okay, and then our FAQ section. I'll quickly show you how you just change one FAQ. So look at this. It's already written out FAQs for your business. So all I need to do is just copy that and just click on here, and you got your layout, and then you just click the title and then hit Control V, and then you go back and you get this, Control C, and put that in there. Okay, so I'm going to delete it first, exactly why I said to, and then you put it in there. Okay, so you get it now. You understand how to go through and edit this, and how amazing it is that you're able to easily go through and completely regenerate this for another business. So again, I'm going to have prompts in the free downloadable pack, or you can follow along, and just write similar to what I wrote with all the screenshots and go through. It's going to be completely up to you. But as you can see, this is literally saved hours and hours, if not days, of work, trying to figure all this out. And you've actually got a good structure and good copy now. Absolutely amazing. And this is how you just take things to another level and do things properly. Not just, here's how to build a WordPress website. Here's how to throw together a little cheap little free template and, just hope that's going to somehow work for you. Okay, so that is our copy now done for our website. Okay, so now I'll show you how we can go through and change the coloring of this. So just say that we've got this guy here, let's make up he's the physiotherapist. He's wearing his blue shirt. That's his color for business. So I'm going to click this one here and we're going to change the color here to a bluish color. Let's go maybe a blue like that. So see, we can make this a full spectrum color. That's actually not too bad. Might go like that blue there, but then obviously we can't see the writing. So we need to change the text color to white, and there we go. So we've got that now. So that's a good, look at that. That already looks, more custom. So what I recommend now doing once you find that color, just Control C that, and you can go through and you can change your appointment button. You could change this. So we click that. I'm going to change that text color again to white, and the text color of this to white as well. Cool. So we're coming along. And then obviously I'm going to show you one more, and you change the color, and then change the color to white. You get the picture. Okay, actually, I'll show you one more. So then these little buttons here, just say you wanted to change them as well. So you go to icon, and then you change icon color, and we just Control V that one again, and then we go through and do that for each of them. You click that, style, icon, color, go through. Okay, so now you can see that's starting to become, nice and clear, nice and on brand. And you can do that for the whole thing. You can go through and edit it and make it your own. Okay, so look at that. It's already becoming really nice, professional looking website. And, what's happening? Oh, it's to put my Control V. I just noticed that. You guys probably noticed it ages ago. Let's change that. But let's now go through. That's a bit of funny. There you go, that's better. So that is now done. So we're going to go through and so obviously you just go through and put in your images here. Now I'm going to quickly show you, if you don't have images yet, this is where if you signed up for Envato, which if you're doing this, you've obviously have signed up for Envato. So I'm just going to show you why Envato is so powerful, because let's just say you didn't have any photos for physio yet, or whatever your business is in and needed some. So let's just go to Envato Elements. And let's go to thousands of photos. And let's just go to photos. And then let's going to type in physiotherapy. And just say you wanted to use, what's a good one? This one here, maybe that way. It looks a bit clinical. It doesn't really look like a physiotherapist. This one here, this is a good one. So let's just say, you wanted to use this image here. You can just simply hit download here, and you just select whatever it's for, license and download. And now you've got a super high quality one that you usually have to pay for, and see it is a paid one. And then it's 12 megabytes. So that's a little silly. So what I'm going to show you, this is, a little bit of value again for you. So ideally you do not want to upload a 12 megabyte image. You'd actually want to change that. So I'll show you what you can do. So let's just go JPEG 5 size reducer, and compress here. And then we're going to get that. We're going to drag it in here and let it do its magic. Okay, so it's reduced it by 88%, and it's gone all the way down to 1.4 versus 12, which is awesome. Ideally, you want to go even lower than that. Not all images are going to be that big, but it's still okay in most cases, as long as you're not having a heap of really big files. Yeah, so I'll just show you how we can put that in now. So we just go here, choose image, and then if we go here, drag that there, and that's going to upload, and we've got that. Look at that. Awesome. So now let's see what that looks like on full, like that. Yeah, cool. So look at that. It depends on the image size that you put in, but that still looks really good like that. You could also put a portrait version one, which would display a little long ways like that, but that still honestly looks really neat and tidy. Okay, so that is essentially, you've likely got now a good understanding of going through and editing. Okay, cool. So you've now got the copy done. If you're following along to this point, you will have gone through and put all the copy in from using ChatGPT. So you will have made it your own. I'm just scrolling through now what we've got to. As you can see, we've completely changed this design from what it was for the health coach one. Originally, this is what it looks like. So it was built out for a health coach, and then we've been able to go through and using ChatGPT, we've now edited it for a physiotherapist. And whatever your business is, you will be able to go through and edit that. And hopefully now you're seeing just how amazing this is, and how easy it is once you know what you're doing to really edit it and make it your own. Now, we've just got a few more last little things we're going to do for making our website complete. So you'll notice that if you scroll to the top of your template, right now it's got a very strange section up here, which is just a blank image and then a strange little gap here that doesn't really make any sense. But if you go to the design that I originally put together, here you'll see it's a nice, logo up there. Obviously, you wouldn't just be called Health Coach, but it's trying to give you an example. And then we've got our menu section here that can click, and I'll go to different sections or pages. Okay, so that's what I'm going to help you guys now create. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go through and make our logo that we're going to put here, like we have here. Now, you could go out and pay someone to make a logo for you, but honestly, the easiest thing is just go through and make one yourself. So what I recommend for creating your logo easily and for free is using a software called Canva. So I'll likely do more in-depth videos on Canva on this channel down the track. However, just for today, I want to quickly show you how you can easily create for yourself a logo. So I created this one just really quickly just before recording this, just to test it, just to make one here. So just to test it out, and was able to come up with this really easily. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I did it. So I just go 260 by 64. So I'm going to go create and then go down to here, custom size, 260 by 60. What was it again? 260 by 64. I was right. And then hit create new design. And then I simply just click here. I go to text, add a heading, and just call it Physio Oz for my made up business. And then I just make it nice and big like this. I'm going to probably make it bigger again. And then what we want to do is go through. Okay, and then we just want to hit text and then hit add heading. And then we're just going to call it whatever your business name is, Physio Oz. Then we're going to expand it out further again. Let's make it about that size there. And then you can change the font if you want to. Right, I was happy with the font we had. That'll do. And then you just I'm just going to make one word blue like that. And there, easy as that, we've got ourselves a logo. Now I just want to make sure that is centered, and look at that. Okay, so as simple as that, we've just made ourselves a logo. Now, a lot of people waste a lot of time overthinking logos, thinking it has to be this whiz-bang, crazily good thing and think everyone cares about it. But honestly, no one cares that much about your logo. The design of your website, the copy and everything, that's the most important thing. You can spend money on a proper, or spend a lot of time on a proper logo later on. But this is what I recommend for people when they're just getting started. You do not need a crazy logo. Something like that is perfectly simple, looks clean, minimalistic, and professional. And so all I need to do now is simply just hit download, hit PNG download that. Then it's going to give me the image, and I'm just going to call it Physio Oz logo. Download that, and then I'm going to go back to edit, and then I'm going to click here. I'm going to hit choose image. I'm going to upload file. Then I'm going to drag it in, drop it like that. And then I'm just going to simply hit select. And look at that. Easy as that. We've got a nice, clean looking logo. And if we go to mobile, it perfectly adjusts itself. And that is something I haven't actually mentioned, but the entire website, the design that I made, I went through and ensured everything was ready and optimized for mobile. So let's get on to creating our menu. So we've got to notice it says edit navigation menu here, and there's no menu to select yet. That's because we haven't set up a menu. So all we need to do is we click on here, make sure we're in the menus, then we see edit navigation menu, and then I want you to click go to menu screen. And now all we're going to do is we're going to create a menu. So I'm just going to call this main menu. That's what I always call them. And then just hit create menu. And so we're going to do a few little things here. So I am basically showing you guys how to create a one-page website with a few, yeah, we could essentially call it a one-page website with a few additional pages. Like I'm going to show you how to do a dedicated contact, and maybe I'll show you how to do like one service page for you guys, just as an example. But it's perfectly fine to just use this as a one-page website, and you're going to see how I can structure it so that a one-page could work perfectly, and you can still have a menu for people as well. But I wanted to make this tutorial as useful as possible, so I'm just showing you two alternate paths that you can take, and then you can decide for yourself, because you'll have the skills by the end of it to do it. So what we need to do, going back to our menus section here, we've got create a menu. So we want to go through and add in some actual pages here. Now, you'll notice we don't have any other pages yet. That's because we haven't actually gone through and created our additional pages. So what I want us to do though first is actually go through and create our, so when we press these menus, they'll go to different sections on the website. So it'll feel like you've got a menu, but really it's going to different sections on the website. That can be just really easy way of, splitting things up. And, this is what I do when I build out a one-page website for people. So we're going to make one called services, and we're going to make another one called about, like we've got here. And then what else could we do that would look good on there? Yeah, let's go to services, about, and then I'll create a contact page as its own separate one to show you guys. Okay, so we're going to do about and services as anchor links that will go to certain spots. So what I want you to do first is scroll down, and we're going to find our services section. So here, again, why I like to split all sections up, and I did that for you guys. You can click this one here, and then you're going to go down to additional option. Then you're going to go to advanced, and you're going to go to where it says CSS ID. And I just want you to type in all caps, services, like that. And then I want you to also go to about, advanced, and then I want you to type in about here. Okay. And then just hit publish. Okay. So we've made a services and about. So what I want you to do now is you're going to go to custom links and you're going to put here, you're going to put hashtag in uppercase services like that. And then you're just going to call this one services. Oh, services. And you add to menu. And then I'm going to do another one, hashtag about. And then I'm going to call this about. I'm going to add to menu like that. Now we're going to hit save to menu, and you're going to see in a moment what these do. So it's save to menu. Now, if I go back to editing here, make sure you've published everything, and then you want to click on here, and then you want to, make sure you publish and save everything, because then we're going to reset this page so that it loads our new navigation. Okay. So look at that. So it's already selected our navigation because main menu, it selected the only one that was there. And look at that, even that already looks really nice. So if I go to preview, I'll show you what's going to happen. So look at that, looking really clean, really nice. And now if we click services, it's going to jump straight to the services section of your website. So this is how you can this is what I do for clients. A lot of the time, especially if they're like small business owners and everything like that, they don't want to be paying for a big, multi-page website, and they also don't need one. Like most of them just will be fine with a one-page website like this. So a person could click about and bam, it'll jump all the way to the about section now on your page. So this is a really easy way to create a super professional website. It's a one-page website, but without having to, all that time invested in then creating, extra pages and all that, which honestly, it doesn't take too long, but for ease of use and for, a lot of small businesses, it's going to be enough just simply to have these jumping menu sections. And you'll see, if I go back to edit, if I go to the mobile, you're going to see it turns into a nice little hamburger icon is what they call it. And when people click that, it's a nice little drop down that when they click those, it'll jump to the section on their website through their phone. So you've just learned something really cool, really good that is often overlooked. I'm just going to quickly now show you how we can, just so you understand, how we can create actual separate pages as well, just to give you an idea, so then you can go away and create your own pages if you want to, if you don't want to go with, creating more drop downs. But again, you could easily just say you liked this section here, something like testimonials. You would just go in and then you would just simply go to advanced and you go CSS and you call it testimonials in uppercase like that, and then save it, go back to the menu, add it in as we did. And then you would jump to testimonials and it would have one up there, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to show you now how to create a contact page. It's good to have that one as a separate one because people kind of expect that. So I always, not always, but a lot of the time we'll make it at least one separate page. That'll be something like the contact page. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go through and create a contact page. So you can leave this one open. I want you to just go through to here and then just go to exit to WordPress, but I want you to right click on it and go open a new tab. So we can keep this one open. And then we're going to click back to here. And then what you want to do now is go through and we're going to create a contact page. So super simple, guys. And the good thing is I've actually gone through and already created a contact page template for you that you can easily just put in. I'm going to show you right now how to do that and then, use that as again. So again, that's sent down the bottom. It's completely free and I'd highly recommend you use it. It's just going to speed things up a lot for you. Okay. So I'm just giving you an example. So you're just going to go add page. So all we're going to do now is, I'm assuming if you have downloaded the contact page, I'm going to show you another way you can make it. If you haven't downloaded or don't want to download the free launch pack and get this contact page made for you. But firstly, I want to show you the easiest method, which is just using this. So I'm just going to go to here and remember what we do. We go to templates. I'm going to hit upload. Once it loads, I'm going to select the file here. Then you're going to select file and then you're just going to go to, it's going to be in the pack and you're going to download in the pack called contact page template. and then you just go, this, don't show this message again, actually continue. And then wait for that to import. And then we've got contact page template, insert, apply. And as easy as that, you now have a contact page. Look at that. So now, just to address a quick question, why would I not recommend having having a form? Because you see some businesses, some websites, they have a form. Now, I've built many forms in the past and I've made them for people, made them for myself. But what I've found with forms is they're a bit hit and miss. So you're going to see a lot more businesses these days actually use this, where they just simply have the phone number and maybe the contact email. Because from my perspective, and what a lot of these business owners are doing as well, is there's always room for error with those forms. Like for some reason, maybe if someone fills it out, then you don't get notified and it doesn't go to your email properly. And it's a lot of work as well. Like to get you to set up, it's not just easy to put a form in and, you need to know understanding, like you have to put in DNS things in the back end to make the email like register. So it's quite complex. And for you guys just starting out, it's just no need. And even when I build clients' websites, I pretty much never make a form because it takes a lot of work for me to make sure it works. And then I always tell the client, which is the truth, is it doesn't, like they might miss out on inquiries. So why not just know that you're always going to get ones when people reach out, and just simply have your phone number there and then have your email. And then people can choose to call you or email you. Easy as that. So that's what I recommend. Don't bother with making a form. You're just going to make more headache than you need, and you might actually lose out on leads. So there's just a little tip there for you guys. But as you can see, super simple, nothing crazy, contact form. Okay. So if that's how you easily do it, by using the one that I put together for you guys, but I just want to very quickly show you what you can do as an alternative if you still, for whatever reason, didn't want to use my free launch pack. So you just go to here and you go back to the kit, and then you're going to see that there was a contact form ready to go. So you're just going to click that contact page there, and it's going to load it. And then you just need to change the title. So you'd change the title, contact us, you'd make up a subtext here, and then you would go through and you remove this section because you don't have a form set up. And then you're going to have that section there. And then can't stand these location things. A lot of us people, especially that run an online business, you do not need a location one. So I usually always delete that. Then you can keep it frequently asked questions if you want, but I just didn't really think it needed it. And then you have a reach out, but again, I didn't think it was needed. So then that's how I created essentially the contact form. So that's the other option you can do. Obviously it's doubled up now because the two were there, but and you get what I mean. So that is easy. Now we've got a contact page. So all we want to do now is just simply hit publish. So now it's published as a page, and that's ready to rock and roll. And then what I want you to do now is just go back to our menu. So from here, we want to go back to exit to WordPress. And then you want to go back to WordPress again. And then you're going to go to appearance menus. So this is how we find it if you weren't coming from that other way. So you got appearance menus. And then we want to go to our main menu here. And then we're going to see contact page is now there. And then we just simply hit add to menu. And we're going to probably put contact last. Yeah, that is actually right. And then just hit save menu. And then if we go back now to whichever one, I've got a lot of tabs open. Which one was it? This one here. So make sure it's published. So you're not going to lose anything when I reset it. Now, if I reset it, it's going to show me with the contact page there. So look at that, guys. So now you've got a nice contact page. Just to prove to you that it's working, I'm just going to go press preview. It's going to load it for me. And now if I click contact, it's going to take me to a separate page of contact. So look at that, guys. Awesome. So there's your first page made. Awesome, guys. So now I also, in the free pack, I'm not going to walk you through it because you already understand now how to create a page and how to connect it. But I have also created an example services page that you can use of a one-on-one coaching that you can simply use to create for whatever your different services are. And you can use the screenshot method. You can use the skills you now have to edit it, and everything you now know, which is simply how to add a new menu in, Once you create the page, then you would just add the one-on-one thing, add it into the menu, and then you'll have it there for people to click. Okay, so that is now our menu done. So we're getting super close to finishing. You should be super proud of yourself because look at how good this looks. If I just press that on men, so that's what it's going to look like on mobile now. I go back to desktop, it's looking really good. So the last thing we need to do for our website that is so close to finish and you should be super proud of yourself is our footer. So this is just as important as the how, and you want to do it well. And we're pretty much already there. So obviously you're going to have your own services. Now this is still set up. I just noticed that. So this is going to be a good one to show you guys how to edit this for yourself. So notice it's still set up for the old coaching, but my 3 services I said for this physio were general physiology, general physiotherapy, sports and injury rehabilitation, pain management, and mobility. So all I'm going to do to make it super simple is I'm just going to go through and copy that. Then I'm going to go down to here into this one-on-one coaching. I'm going to change that title to general physiotherapy, pain management. I'm just going to call that. So it's not really, it doesn't really matter if it's, yeah. Okay, so that looks a lot neater. So there's our extra services. Now you'll notice you can make links. So once you could design a page, so you create your general physiology page, physiotherapy page, you would then be able to paste the link into it there. So I'll show you what I mean. So just say this is a contact page here. All you would do is copy that. Obviously right now, yes, I know some of you are going to point out that is still our default URL. So we'd want to really put in the one after we put the domain. So I'll do that later. But I'm just giving you an example. So just say we wanted to link this. Obviously we wouldn't link it to a contact, but I'm giving you an example of a page you've made. So just say this was a general physiology page you made. You'd be able to copy and put that in there and then hit publish. And then you would go to the contact page, which obviously you would make it really your general physiotherapy page if that's what you wanted. But it's perfectly fine if you just, list services off. That's what I do a lot of time for businesses or make them a website. I just have them have their services listed off, and that's fine for people because they can see that, and then they can just edit that around. Now I'm seeing that says sportsy. It's funny. Yeah, and they can just, they just have the, at least it lists off their services, but it'd be completely up to you. But what we do want to link now, so if I quickly showed you that though, so we've done that, and we go to preview. Okay, so just to show you, so if we go down to the bottom here now, and we've got our services, when I click general physiology, it lights up, and then I click it, and now it takes me to my contact page. Obviously, you wouldn't send it to the wrong page, but I'm giving you an example of you can link to a created page by just simply copying its link, and then putting it in there as that. But as I said, it's not essential, and you're perfectly fine to just list off services if you want to make more of a one-page website. So what I want to show you now is just say we can link our pages here. So we can just simply go to about, and we can change the link here to hashtag about, and then we can change this services to hashtag services, and then we can change this pricing one to, what was the other one we had, contact. So we can really link that to contact. So it's going to go contact, and we're going to put our link in here, and then we're going to just hit publish like that. Okay, so now when I go back to here, I go down to the bottom, I hit about, and it's going to jump to about. I hit services, it jumps to services, and I hit contact, it goes to a contact page. Okay, so we're nearly done, guys. So that is our that's our links here. Now you can add more if you want to. So if you want to add a new item, you just do that. Ideally, you remove the tick, you wouldn't want that. Then just type in whatever you want. So this could be, what else could we have? Prices, something like that. And then we'd link to whatever. It could be linking to a page, a section on the page, or an actual page in of itself. So that's completely up to you. Now just the last little few things. So this here is just simply, let's just I just made this easy for you guys. So I just made it instead of a logo, we can just put in whatever your thing is there. So I'm just putting Physio Odds in there. So you can just type it in as opposed to having to have a logo. And then down the bottom here, you can change your, copyright. Just call it physio, copyright, physio, Oz. I have that audible. Yeah, there we go. And then the last thing I want to show you is linking our social media icons. So this is optional because you might not have social media yet, but, and in that case, you can just hit right click and then delete it. But I want to show you what you can do. So you just click on the social media. Maybe you don't have Twitter. A lot of people, you're not going to have Twitter for your business. So you're just going to hit remove, and maybe you had Facebook only or YouTube only, or you'll need to add another one. So maybe you got Instagram. So you just hit here and then you type in Instagram and you put that one in and hit insert like that. And then you've got an Instagram one now. Easy as that, guys. And then very obviously, you just go through and you just copy and paste in your link to your social media profile, your link to your YouTube channel, your link to your Instagram. Easy as that. And then you just hit publish, as we know, and then you'd be able to click those links and it would go to your social media page. All right, guys. So we are so close to finished. Now, you should be super proud of yourself because you've just gone from, you had no idea how to make a website to building, setting up hosting, now installing templates, and now editing it out and making it fully your own. So I just want to give you a huge hats off, because if we go to have a look at our website now, look at that. Look at how amazing and professional that looks. So much better than a free theme. And, now you can go through and you can edit this and you're starting to understand how everything works. We've got all these loading and the movements in. Actually, that does make me think. If I wanted to just quickly show you, so notice when it loads, we've got some nice little subtle animations. Now, I'm pretty happy with the ones that we've already got on there, to be honest. But I just want to, if you wanted to change them or turn them off, I'll just show you how you do that. So if you go into here, you're going to see, click this one, and then you go advanced, and then you go all the way down to motion effects, and then see entrance information. It's got fade up. Now we could change that to fade in left. We could change that to zoom in, whatever you want. I liked what it had, which was fade in up, I think it was, fade in up. Yeah, like that. And you can just change those around as much as you can. So that's simply how you do it. You just go to advanced, and then you go to entrance animation. You either turn it on or turn it off, or if you hit X, you just turn it off altogether if you don't want them. Completely optional. Okay, guys. So we are done in terms of, okay, guys. So we are pretty much done now in terms of our website. Like I said, you should be super proud of yourself. We're just going to do some final little tie-ups. I always like to make sure before I say it's officially done, I like to make sure that even though I did edit it for you guys for mobile, sometimes things, when we change things around, can go a bit out of alignment. So we want to just make sure everything's looking good. Yeah. So, yep. Yeah. See this one here? I would probably center that on mobile. So you see how it says that little image there? That means you're only editing it for mobile. Now that didn't center on me, so I'm going to guess that it's got padding or custom width. There we go. So we want to go full width like that. So there we go. So just move it across until the width is fully across. Now, remembering you have to make sure you're on the mobile view, and you're only adjusting for mobile. So you don't need to worry anything's going to happen for desktop. So we're just going down through there. And again, this one could probably, it's fine. But if you want to be, finish off last little things, we could probably center this and center this. And yes, I know it hasn't centered yet, but let's go justify center and then line self center. There we go. And then this one as well. What's it going to do on me is there a reason align self center? See, sometimes little funny things like this. Let's go. Why will that not justify itself to center? Okay, so grow. So that one's worked for that one. So it's just here. So I just clicked grow if that happens for you. So you want to do align self center and then size grow, and that's centered that. And then we just want to center this one too. Go to advanced and then align self center and then grow. And then what's it doing to me? We need to actually change this one 2 to center. Yep. So it's more so wanting those. So sometimes a little playing around, and there we go. So that's all centered. Okay. So that's looking good. Now that was just me being nitpicky. You honestly don't need to worry too much about centering all that like that. And this one is, look at that. Again, as I said it, we're going to center that one like that. So just, a tiniest bit more professional. But yeah, anyway, that is looking good. Like I said, you don't need to go to this level if you don't want to, but we can if we want. But there is now our mobile done. And now we're just going to move on to our final last little things, which are going to be going through and actually putting our website on a dedicated domain. Because right now, if we go to it, we're just on a pretty bad looking default domain, which is fine while we're editing it and creating it. We want to now create a dedicated domain name for us. I'm going to link that. And then at the end, I'm just going to quickly go over showing you how you can easily do some basic SEO, which is search engine optimization, just some basic on-page stuff to show so that you show up right correctly on Google and, increase your chances of being found in the long run. Okay, so let's now move into our domain setup. Okay, so going through now and setting. So what you want to do is go to a website called namecheap.com. So what we want to do, essentially what Namecheap is this place to buy domains. It's one of the cheapest, hence the name Namecheap, place for buying domains. It's where I buy all my domains when I buy them for clients or when I've bought them for myself. And it's one of the best marketplaces to buy one. So what we're going to do is we're going to first sign ourselves up for an account, and then we're going to go through and purchase our domain and then set it up with Cloudways. So it's super simple, easy to do, and I'm going to walk you through step by step setting up. So the first thing you want to do is just go to dashboard, account dashboard, and you want to go to sign up. And then you want to fill out the details here and sign yourself up, fill all those out, and then go create new account. Now I already have an account, so I don't need to sign yourself up, but go through, sign yourself up, confirm the email, and then I'll see you guys on the other side. Okay, so once you are signed in, now we go ahead and purchase for ourselves a domain name. Now, if you're wondering, sitting there wondering what is a domain name, essentially a domain name is your URL. So this Namecheap's domain name is Namecheap. So for you guys, you're going to pick something that is, represents your business, ideally your business's name. Now, the thing with picking a domain name is there's a lot of different options out there these days, especially. And, a lot of people get confused with what they should do and everything like that. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview, very brief, of my recommendations when you're purchasing a domain name. So firstly, the most common one we all know is .com. And now ideally this is the best one you can get. However, you're going to find when you start searching that they're pretty hard to come by. .coms are usually taken unless you think of a very unique name. So the next best bet that I usually go with or recommend is a .co. That is a really good one that is perfect for companies, online businesses and things like that. That can work perfectly fine. And that can be a great workaround. Again, ideally .com, but most likely a lot of the time that's going to be taken. The next option is subdomain, domains with extensions, so .com.au. That is in the case of just if you're going to only run your business in Australia or the US. Obviously, you'd have, I don't know what you guys, is it .us? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So that's another option you can go. And usually when you do a .com.au or a .com.us, you might actually find it for your business name. But only do that if you're only going to sell in your region. Like you're only going to sell to people in your country. Otherwise, you limit yourself for search and you limit yourself in a lot of ways. So it's just those different ones like that. Other options are things like .net, which I'm not the biggest fan of using. That's really not ideal most of the time. .online is another one that can sometimes work, but there's a lot these days. There's .ai, obviously. Then there's what else is there? There's .co, .com. Yeah, they're kind of your main ones. .shop is another one these days. Yeah, but let's go through and I'll show you purchasing one, and a few more ideas might come to me when I see other listed there. But so let's just say we're going to pick one for this made up Physio Oz, physio-oz.com. I'd be shocked if that's not taken. Absolutely shocked. And I'm not going to purchase it anyway because it'd be expensive. It's only $15. So that's actually very surprising that that's not taken. Again, I'm not going to purchase it because I don't need it, but I'm just showing you guys how to go about and purchase a domain name. So ideally, this would be perfect. So Physio Oz, I'd go physio-oz.com. Now, if that had been taken, which a lot of the time it is, so this is pretty good that it's actually not taken, you would pick something like .co. So you could go like that. Yeah, and so look, that's a little bit cheaper again. And then there's going to be, so these are different options it's already given me. So it's got .dev. So you wouldn't want really any of these. .health, that's one that's becoming a bit more popular these days. Maybe you could use that. .biz, maybe. I probably still wouldn't use that. And the most of these I wouldn't use. I'd really just lean towards .com or .co and maybe something like .health if you were in that space. Other than that, I wouldn't go any stray really away from those. Or of course your .com, .au's, ones like that. But in this case, because I'm purchasing this for a made up mock website, I'm just going to go through and look at that. .com.au is actually taken as to be expected because it's an Australian-based business name. Okay, so I'm going to pick, even though obviously I've already told you, do not do .online yourself just because it's cheaper. You'll shoot yourself in the foot. But I'm purchasing it for the sake of this, so I'm not, throwing money down the toilet with things. URL I'm definitely never ever going to use, but I'm just doing it for this video. So I found one of the cheapest possible ones that I can do. Again, ideally you guys want to go .com, .co, something like that. I'm just giving you an idea. So all we're going to do now is we're just simply going to go physio-oz.online, and then you're going to go add to cart. And then you're going to have all these pop up here, and you're going to say, NO, check out. We don't need any of those. And then you're going to be probably a few more things they're going to be trying to sell you on, and you're just going to go to no again, confirm order. Okay, awesome. So once that's done, you've purchased your domain name and everything like that. What you're going to do now is go through and we're going to set up the actual domain name. So we're going to go back to here, Namecheap. And then what we're going to do now is go back to our website. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back to our website. Now, if you've exited out somehow of your website, remember, all you need to do is log back into Cloudways. So I'm going to go back for you so you know, and you just go to Flexible and you go to My Applications. And yes, you can see a lot here. And then you open up that and then you go through, and this is your login details here again. So you just go through to here, through your website. It's going to go to the login. Hopefully you've kept yourself logged in. If you haven't, remember you just copy and paste this here and put it in. Okay, and then we're just going to go back now and we're going to go ahead with setting up our domain name. Okay, so what we want to do now to add our own domain name is we want to go through and go to, so I'm in my thing and then I'm in my application, and then I'm going to go to domain management. Now, what we want to do here is see, this is currently our primary. So this is where everything's linked to. We want to add our own domain. So the domain that we just purchased. So I just purchased one. So we're going to do here, and we're going to change this to, in here, we're going to put in the one I just purchased. You're going to put whatever you just purchased at just.com. You don't need the HTTP access. You're just putting the domain. So for the domain, we're going to put in physio.oz.online. Okay, so you're just going to put in what you just purchased then, but without the www, HTTP access, you're just going to put it in there. So I bought physio.oz.online, and then you're just going to leave this. So don't worry about add as wildcard or anything like that. Just hit save changes. Put that one in. Okay, so now that one's added. We also want to add one more variation, is just go through add domain. I'm going to put in what we just put in before, but we're going to put before it, we're going to put www. Okay, so what this essentially means is that both if people type in www. your website, it'll work, and if they just type in this version, it'll also work, and they'll both call to the domain. They'll both be sent to the right thing. I know all this sounds a little bit confusing, but promise you, once it's done, it's done. You don't need to think about it ever again. Okay, and this is the sort of things that you just never see people actually show in tutorials, and it's super important. They're literally one of the most important things on a website, and yet it gets avoided and not spoken about. So that's why I'm here, to ensure that we actually go through it. So you're going to add the version like this, which is just www. whatever your URL is, your domain you just purchased, and hit save changes. Okay, so we've got both those added now. Now, I'll just point out also that if you're getting lost at any point in time, just know that in the description below, if you haven't already done it by now, nearly near the end of this tutorial, downloaded the starter pack. I've also got a troubleshooting guide, and also a document walking you through things like this. So just so you know that you're doing everything correctly and not missing anything. But you should be able to follow along well enough for this. Okay, so that part's done. Awesome, pat on the back. Now all we're going to do is go through to your domain, and you want to go to your domain list. So go back into Namecheap, and then you're going to have your domain. You're not going to have as many as me. I know I have a lot. And then you're going to go through to manage here on your domain that you pick. You're going to only have one, so it's going to be easy. Then you're going to have advanced DNS, and then you're going to go through here. Now, what you want to do is you will have had a CNAME record. Okay, so once you've deleted that CNAME record, okay, so what we need to do now is add in an A record. So we want to go through and go add A record, and you're going to do host is going to be at, and then you're going to do your Cloudways public IP address. Now you're going to be thinking to yourself, what are you going on about, Isaac? But promise you, it's not very difficult. So we're just going to do A record at your IP address, and I'm going to show you how to find it. So coming back to Cloudways. Now you're in this section here. You want to go back to recovered local biz sites. No, sorry. You want to go back to your server. That's what mine's called, for a business that I run for creating websites for businesses. So you want to come down here, and you're going to just see the public IP. Just copy that one, and then all you need to do is go back to here, and then just place that one in there. Oh, what's going on here? Copy that, and that's copied now. Paste that in here, and hit tick. So that's added. You do one more A record, and you write www, and then you just put the Cloudways IP address in again and hit tick. Okay, and then one last thing we want to do, once you've done those, is just also delete this URL redirect if you have one there, which you very likely will. So you just want to hit delete. So don't worry you're doing anything bad. This just means that it's not going to reroute it to this separate one here, and mess with what we're trying to set up here with being sent to Cloudways. So just delete that record there, and then all good. So now what we want to do is go back to here, back to our Cloudways, and we want to go back to my applications. Then you're going to pick your application. There's only going to be one, and then you're going to go to domain management. And then what we want to do is we want to set one of these as primary. Now, ideally, most websites these days, as you'll see, display without www, WordPress, all these. So ideally, these day and age, you want to tick this one, and then you want to go to make primary. And then you want to set it as primary, and we switch to alias, all good to go. We hit that. Okay, so now once that's done, it's probably going to take a while. So for me, I was waiting for a couple of minutes before it came back to this screen and said that it was ready, that it was made primary. Now, something has to happen now called DNS propagation. You don't need to worry about what the heck that even means, but essentially it's just, you know, waiting for it to all be put out onto the internet and updated and everything. So in best case scenario, in 5 minutes, it'll be done and it'll be live and it'll be working. Worst case scenario, you have to wait at least 24 hours to be able to go to the website. But in the meantime, this link here is always still going to work. That's your original one. Don't worry that you think it's just removed. It's all still there. It's just, you know, it's just being updated. But we can test it now. So if we went through to here and press Control C and put this in, let's just see what happens. So if I go to here, okay, so it's loading. And right now, let's go, it's saying it's not safe. And there's a perfect spot for me to show you how we put in what's called a SSL certificate, which again, another thing that pretty much no tutorials ever show, yet it's super important and can scare a lot of people. And, you know, every website needs an SSL certificate in, and I'm going to show you guys how to set one up for free. Okay, so what you're going to do, I'm just going to hit advanced here and see whether it'll go through when I click that. So cool. So it's going through to my website. Now, it's going to nothing yet because I actually hadn't set it up, the website, as the official homepage, the one we made. So the fact that this shows up though means it's all working, and that's probably what's going to be coming up for you. So don't stress that you've lost the website. Everything is good. Remember, I'm here to help you through. So that is awesome. So mine's worked in a really short amount of time, which is awesome. And you're seeing it's asking me to log back in because it's all changed now, which is awesome to see. Now, we did have the issue with the, it's saying that I had to click advanced to get through, which you don't want. And you don't want this not secure and everything coming up. So all we need to do, easy fix, if you want to install an SSL certificate. So quick and easy. I know all this sounds super technical, but this is the stuff that you need to do on a website. This is why this, as I've said a million times, this is why the tutorial is a lot longer, because I'm actually showing, you know, it's not a 15-minute, 5-minute process. Okay. So what we're going to do is go to SSL certificate, and we're just going to go to click Let's Encrypt. They're the best to do it with. Then you want to put an email address in here. It doesn't matter what you put. Just put whatever demo email, you know, you signed your website up with. I'm just going to put in Isaac design tutorials at gmail.com. Gmail.com. Why did it do a hashtag? That's weird. Okay. And then you just want to put in the domain name. So we're just going to put in the one that we had. So Fizz Online. So we're going to do that one. I'm going to do it for both again. So we're going to do firstly for this one and just install certificate. Okay. So once that's done, so we've installed the SSL certificate, and now we just want to do one more. So we want to do one for www. So I want to put that in again, but we'll put www in front of it, and then hit. Actually, first let's actually just redo it to make sure it's there. That it installed the SSL certificate. Cool. So this domain name has added one here. Now let's add another domain. So let's go through and add in it as www. Dot and add a one for that version too. And that's all done. Okay. So now what we want to do is, so just so you understand, normally like a lot of hosting providers actually make you pay. Honestly, they actually make you pay for SSL certificates. And that can be up to like $100. Yeah, they range from $10 to $100 a year, just depending on who sells them. Whereas Cloudways allows you to install them for free, and they're free forever automatically once you've done this. So it's an absolute no-brainer again, why I recommend going with Cloudways. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go back here. I'm going to try this one more time, and It may have fixed it. It may have updated, but it's also very likely hasn't because it can take time for it to be updated. But we're going to try one more time. So I'll fully exit out of that and I'll put it in again and see what happens. Okay, so it's still saying not secure, but that doesn't mean that it's not secure, because if I put that on, I'm just going to quickly see if I put it on another browser, will that actually be secure? Yeah, look at that. So it is secure already. So it's working. It's just sometimes if you've already done it on another website and it hasn't worked, it didn't work the first time. It can take time for the cache to upgrade and everything like that. So you're done. But if it doesn't work right away, that's perfectly fine. Okay. But you should absolutely be very proud of yourself, because now you have officially gone through and you have created, you're pretty much done now. There's going to be a few last things I want to do to make sure this is super valuable for you guys, but you should be super proud of yourself because now you officially have your website on your own domain. So I'm going to show you in a moment. Okay. So what you want to do now that the domain's done, I've gone back into access details. So I just clicked up here under my application. So if you've got lost, just go to applications, pick your application, go to access details. Now you see my application or my website is at the domain name that you just set up. And then you're going to have this one here, which is actually showing your domain name /WP admin. So that's your backend login. Now it looks like that. So that's awesome. So we're going to just put that in here. So we're just going to put in those again, our login, and then our login password. I'm just going to show you we can log in and have a look. Okay, so awesome, guys. So there we go. So it's still saying not secure, but it will be soon, or it will already be. It's just taking time to upgrade. But that should be an awesome feeling for you guys, because now you're officially you've officially got your own website and you've got that, your own domain, which is huge. So absolute pat on the back. It should feel amazing you've got to that. Now, one last thing I want to do. So, because officially, if you go to visit site, watch what we see. We just see this. You're going to be confused, worried that you've lost everything. You haven't. We just haven't told what we want to display as our homepage. So this is going to be one of our final things to do. And then the website is done. And then we'll just finish off with a bit of SEO help for you guys. So all you need to do now is simply go back to here to our dashboard. And then what I want you to do is go to settings. And then I want you to go to reading. And then I want you to go to this one here, your homepage displays as a static page, homepage, and you're going to select the one we called home. And then you just hit save. And now look what happens when I click here. Voila. Now that is when there's some congratulations in order. So go back, follow it again if you've got lost. But right now, if you followed along, you will now officially have your own website, completely custom to your own and on your own domain, which is absolutely huge, awesome. Pat on the back, because that's absolutely incredibly amazing work. A lot of people talk about building a website and then then a few actually action that, and even fewer actually get to the end of a complete website. So I just want to say that I'm super proud of you. Well done. Huge pat on the back. And you are pretty much now done. There's going to be a few last little things I'm going to take you guys through, and then we are done for this tutorial. Okay, so now that we've got our own official domain set up, we're just going to do our last little finishing touches that are often overlooked, but are super important. So the first thing I want to show you guys is updating just finalizing, one of our pages. So our contact page, I want to show you something. So if we go to contact here and we go through to our preview, and we go to contact, you're going to notice it doesn't have the header that we created on the other page. That's because the template that I put in didn't have it initially as part of it. The contact page didn't have it. So this is a good teaching moment for you guys to understand how you can easily, mix and match sections once you've created one. So it's a good little one to leave for you guys to learn. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click this container. We're going to go right click, and then we're going to go save as template. So we've clicked in the center of it on the 6 dots, then hit save as template. And then we're just going to call it menu, header menu, like that. And then we'll hit save. And then if we go, yep, so we've got that. Then we want to go here, edit with Elementor. And we want to go and hit plus. And we want to hit this one here. And we go to templates. And then we want to get the one we just did. It might take a while to load. Well, might not show up the first time. And then this header menu, we just created that. So we're just going to insert that, hit apply. And as easy as that, we now have our header added in, our menu. Now, one other thing we want to do, and you need to make sure you do this for every page. If you add extra pages, is we want this button here, this logo here, to go back to the home page. So if they've gone and ended up on the contact page, they can get themselves back to the home page. So what we're going to do for that is we're going to click this one, and then we're going to go link, custom URL, and all you're going to do is just copy your URL here without the WP admin and everything else beside it. Just put that in there like that. So it's just going to go back to the home page when they click that and hit publish. Easy one. And then the other one we want to do is going down the bottom here. You're going to notice if you've downloaded the template, whether you went through and either did it, with the one that was part of the template kit, you did it that way, or you downloaded it from my free launch pack, you're going to notice that on the contact page, because it was initially made for the health coach, you're going to need to change that. So all you do is go through and change the ones that you had down here, change it to those. So you would just copy and paste it. I'll just show you one, and you go back there and just make sure. So that's just something to be wary of. If you're creating multiple pages, just make sure they all sync up and work. If you had the pro version of Elementor, you can actually assign a header and footer to show up on every single page. But we're doing this the free way. So every time you put a new page on and you put one of these here, like a footer, you need to go through and you're gonna have to update it to the newest one. Or the other option is you just go and you save this, save as a template, and then you'd save it as a footer, and then you could delete this one and then just add that one, if that makes sense. That could be a speed up way of doing it as well. So they're pretty much the main things that I wanted to show you. The other one was just as well quickly. So if we go back to the one that was actually set up for us, you're gonna remember that we added a contact page in here. So we did a contact page, and now that contact page is going to be wrong. So I remember I said it to you guys that we need to go with the right one, because that is actually showing our old Cloudways app default URL. We need the proper one. So all you need to do is just on your contact page or whatever you're doing the page for, you just go to preview so you see the real thing, and then you just copy and paste it from all the way up until before the question mark preview, because we don't want that. And then we just want to put that one there like that. So now it's whatever your website is, yours would be like .com or .co, and then / your page. And then you're just going to hit publish. So now that just means that, why are you doing that? So you're going to hit publish. And then now that just means, oh, we did it to the wrong one. So yeah, we want to edit this one here, put that there, hit publish. And so, okay, so then once that's done, you're just going to hit preview here, and you'll see if you go down to contact, it'll go to the contact page, proper one, like that. Okay, so that is now officially the website done. You don't need to do any, you're welcome, of course, to keep going through and, add extra pages, edit things around, add sections, edit as you please. Okay, so the final thing we're going to move on to now, just to finish up, is SEO. Now, SEO is something that is massively overlooked, for websites, and, it's real rarely ever done in tutorials. I'm not going to go in depth to all the different things you can do for SEO. And, you know, some people claim that thanks because of ChatGPT and, you know, Google AI and all those things like now, you know, SEO doesn't matter as much anymore. But the truth is, even just from the perspective of how you show up on Google when people find you matters a lot. And if you don't edit it, you're going to show up very poorly, and you're definitely not going to show up in search or ChatGPT or Google AI or anything like that. So you want to still do the foundations of SEO. And that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do. So all we need to do is we're just going to go back to our dashboard here, and then we're going to go to plugins. We're going to add one last plugin. And then we're just going to type in SEO. I'm going to find Yoast SEO. So this is the one that I recommend. As you can see, 10 million downloads. It's easily the most popular. And then we're just going to type in install now. We're going to hit install now. And then activate. Okay, so let's start with the configuration like this, as they're suggesting. Probably easier for you guys if I step you through this. So we're just going to hit start configuration. Let's start by running the SEO data. This means you'll scan your site and create a database optimized. Yeah, okay, we can do that. So yeah, we're going to go through and do it a bit deeper than what it's asking to do here, but we'll go through and fill out some of this. So the first thing we want to do is just choose organization in most cases, because if you're a business or everything, company, whatever, you're going to choose that. But if you're a person in terms of like a coach or whatever, you're going to choose person. Okay, and then your website name can just be physio.oz.com.online, whatever it is. And then the organization name, we can change that to Physio Oz, because that's your real name, Physio Oz, like that, whatever your organization name is, your business name. And then a logo, yep, we can add that. So we're just going to add this one here. So this is just helping when you're found on Google. And then if you have a physical location, you can add it, but let's just leave that for now. And then social profile. So here you would just add, okay, obviously I don't have any, so I'm not going to add any, but you could add Facebook, Twitter, different ones like that. Save and continue. And then personal preferences. You don't really need to worry about that. And then save and continue. And then finish configuration. Cool. So that's just the basic stuff there. We're probably going to go through and change things anyway from our end, but let's go through and do that now. So we're going to just go to all pages here. And then you're going to go to your homepage. And instead of clicking edit with Elementor, we're just going to go this edit one here, because this will take, because what this has done now is taken us to, so this is where you would build out a website through, you know, WordPress's editor and everything. And as you can, as I've said, I'm not the biggest fan of it. But let's go to here. So we press a little, so there'll be a little Yoast SEO thing here like this. And we're just going to press down on it here, on this one. And then it's going to come up with this here. So this is exactly why I say that you want to do it yourself, because right now, this is how this website would show up on the internet, on Google search. It would say home-physio.online, and then this here just saying that it'll, you know, it'll make its own up if we don't generate it. So what we want to do is go through and generate our own title. Now, it looks like they've got their own SEO version. Yeah, I'm still going to trust ChatGPT more than that. So, but the focus keyword for this would be physiotherapy. So we would pick that. You would pick one focus keyword, whatever you're built around, whatever your business is. So I'm going to say that, and let's just see what they even come up with. Okay, so they make you pay for it. So I thought that would be the case. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to ChatGPT, and we're going to do it better than I'm guessing they're going to do for us anyway. So I just want to go back to ChatGPT, and then I just want to go back to ChatGPT, and you're going to open up the last tab you had open where you were talking about your business. Ideally, there's a rule of thumb. You probably know how to use ChatGPT already, or brief understanding, but you just want to, every new chat, if you're going to talk about the same thing, like your business starting, and we did all this here, best off to just stick with that same thread again of talking to it about it. Okay, so we've got this here, and now I'm just going to say, we're going to get its help with writing SEO. So I'm going to go through and just say, I'm going to have prompts for you in the free download pack, but I'm just going to do it live here for us. So we're just going to say something like this. Can you please now help write the SEO homepage meta title and description for this business? And then we're going to get a few variations. So I'm going to probably say that. Okay. So I'm just going to say something like that. Cool visualize. Awesome. Cool. So one little rule of thumb, just depending on if this is just an example for this business here. So these would be perfectly fine. I'm looking through these now. These would be perfectly fine, any of these to use. But I'm just going to give you an example of, just say you were located in a certain location. So maybe you're in Melbourne, Victoria, Melbourne, Australia. Just give me an example of a city. And you would, obviously, if you're a physio, you're only going to be serving people around Melbourne and likely around a certain suburb. So let's just say that you wanted to do it in Melbourne, the city. And so we're just going to tell it now, could you adjust these so they include include Melbourne, the business's location in the title for SEO. Cool. So here we go. Look at that. So physiotherapy and pain relief in Melbourne. And look at that. That one, what we got here, expert physiotherapy and pain recovery in Melbourne, physiotherapy and pain, injury and rehab in Melbourne. So I'd probably like this one the best. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to say very strong. Yeah. That's not bad either, though. Trusted, but then it doesn't have other keywords. I'd probably honestly go with this one, and then so we're going to put that SEO title in there. So look at that, awesome. And then we're going to go through this one here and just put that in there again. Awesome. So notice we've got physiotherapy. We've got the focus keyword up here, physiotherapy, and that's now how it's going to look. Pretty happy with that. Okay, so all that is done now. So we've got our title, we've got our meta description, and we've got that one there. We'll just leave that as it was. And then, as you can see, now we've got physios, expert physiotherapy, pain and recovery in Melbourne, and personalised and very about Melbourne. So we've got keyword at Melbourne, so we're going to show up for that. And then we're also going to show up for, these keywords here, physiotherapy. We've got it as our focus keyword. You'd be amazed how much of a difference just adding SEO, like this basic, meta title or meta description on your homepage can have. In the past, I've done, SEO work for businesses and things like that. And, I always do it as part of my build anyway for a website, but I've done like as an individual job or for clients or, more deeper things, deeper SEO. And, it always, it can be amazing how much of a difference just simple things like this can make. So that's why I wanted to add it quickly here for you guys. So what you're going to do once you've done that is hit save. And I'll very quickly show you one last little thing. just so you understand how to do it for certain pages. So we just did it for our homepage. Now we want to do it for our contact. So we're just going to go through to here. Sorry. We're just going to go through to edit. And then look, it's remembered to bring this up for us, which is awesome. And we're just going to make physiotherapy the focus keyword again. What's going on here? Therapy. And then I'm just going to ask, or good old ChatGPT, to do one for the contact. Yep, cool, that'll do. And then the meta description, so we're just going to put that. So we want to delete all this, put that in, and then meta description, put that in, and put that there. Okay, so we just want to make sure you leave slug as it is, because that's how, see how we've got, if we go to contact, we've got here. Oh, anyway, you got /, so that's what that there is, like how it shows up as a / contact. So if you put this here, it would be / all that there. So we just want to make sure we don't edit this one. Okay, so that's done. And look, we'll go in the greens, which is awesome. And, you know, already done that now for a contact page. So obviously, then you're just able to go through, do that for all your other pages. And yeah, easy as that. So we're just going to hit save. And then there we go. So we're just going to go back and back to dashboard. Okay, so that is essentially done for the SEO. Now, it's a very basic form of SEO, but it's arguably one of the most foundational and important ones. So we could go a lot deeper, but I might save that. I'll save that for another video, because it could, you know, could go on for another few hours if we went really deep into, you know, SEO and other things you can do. So we're going to end it there, but you've already done well ahead of most people when they first start their own website. So many people just overlook SEO, but now you've got that down pat and you've officially got a fully functioning website. So one last look at your site, you can have a look at it there, whatever you've got coming up there. But yeah, I just want to say a big thank you for choosing this video, and I wish you the absolute very best with your website and your future business. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers.